Everyone go check out DR Sports Talking Tactics right now. Matisse, tell them, why should they watch this?
Because we're sick.
All right, is that all you're going to give? All right, fair enough. Because we're sick, go watch the show right now.
Yes, people, and welcome back to another DR Game Day Live. This is a midweek one. It's a Thursday night special. It is Thursday, right? Yeah, Thursday night special. I'm not used to it. Thursday nights are weird nights, usually Europa League, but we got Manchester United versus Chelsea today, and listen, United could secure Champions League football today.
They could.
Joining me, of course, to my right, I've got Laurie in the house. How you doing? You all right?
Imaginary crowd,
Hey,
big it up.
And to my left, of course, repping Chelsea in the CFC top, we got Tom. How you doing, man? You good?
Yeah, good, mate. Second to last instalment of this season of absolute hell for the Chelsea.
You just kind of can't wait almost for the season to end, I'm guessing, at this point.
Absolutely.
It's kind of honestly...
I think most clubs are in that kind of phase now, aren't they? Unless you've got something to really play for. I mean, we know United have, but yeah.
I was going to say, they're almost like one of the last few clubs you feel like that have something to play for tonight. And listen, guys, make sure you're getting involved in the conversation. Make sure you like the stream as you're coming in. If you're enjoying the content as we're going along, make sure you like as well. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. On Track GP as well. Plenty of the links in the description. Make
Don't
sure
forget DR Boxing.
Well. And DR Boxing
host.
as well, which our man Laurie hosts with all the latest boxing and all the UFC as well. So make sure you're tuned in for that. So yeah, listen, big one today. We'll go straight into the lineups. I won't even waste any time because we've got about another 15 minutes or so till kickoff. But Man United at home today at Old Trafford, of course. David De Gea in goal. Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Rafael Varane, Lindelof and Luke Shaw in the back four. In front of them, we've got Casemiro, Eriksen and Bruno Fernandes. Out wide, we've got Anthony and Sancho with Martial in the 9 today. And then Chelsea, do you want to go through that lineup?
I will, mate. Yeah, why not? We got Kepa in goal. We got probably his penultimate appearance for the club, Caesar. Dave as Piliqueta, a right back. We got Wesley Fofana and Trev Chalobah in the middle. The youngster Lewis Hall on the left with a midfield three, a very young midfield three of Enzo Fernandez, Carney Chukwuemeka and Conor Gallagher, and a similarly young front three as well of Mudryk, Madueke and Kai Havertz. So finally an exciting 11 for Chelsea that I'm kind of looking forward to seeing how some of these boys play.
It's as you said, kind of a young lineup and kind of seeing what Chelsea youngsters can kind of bring today. But United have gone familiar today and it seems strong. Obviously with Champions League on the line today, I think if they draw or win, basically they qualify for Champions League next year.
Yeah, they've got 2 games to get it done.
Yeah,
obviously they'll be hoping to get it done tonight in front of their own crowd. So yeah,
and against probably the team on worst form in the Premier League at the moment too.
Literally, and with United as well, over the last couple of weeks you feel like Liverpool have just been putting that little bit of pressure on, but they've pulled a few results out when needed. But today I'm kind of looking at Anthony, I'm looking at Sancho, I'm looking at Martial, and I'm looking at that front three, and I'm thinking this is almost audition time for next season if you really want to stake your claim. I feel like Anthony this season, maybe some United fans would have expected more in moments. I feel like this is a game where you can kind of really rubber stamp yourself. Cement in Champions League, listen, it's something to play for at the end of the day. Sancho, I feel like end the season strong as well. I feel like
he needs to.
Second season now, I feel like it's still been a little bit underwhelming. Some
I
people
would agree.
Say,
very underwhelming.
Sent to the mountains, they said at one point. So what have you guys kind of made of, and Martial as well, let's not forget actually, because he's been out for a lot of games this season due to injuries, and then back end the last couple of weeks now, he's just started to come in. I think he scored last week or the week before, was it?
Yeah.
So
he's one of those conundrums, isn't he, Martial? He's one of those guys. I think everybody in football recognises the talent. On his day, I wouldn't say he's unplayable because that's a lofty term, but you know what I'm saying. He's a very good player, put it that way, but we just don't see enough of it.
Does he remind you a little bit of Lacazette, I would say, especially as an Arsenal fan, and someone who the link-up play is there, the hold-up play maybe you can say is decent, technically is sound. Lacazette now showing a scoring touch.
I think that's a reasonable comparison. But you know what? I'm going to say this, and this is coming from a man who's got a great deal of respect to Lacazette. Shout out to Lacazette as well. Apparently he's the #1 striker in the French league this season.
Yeah.
But I would go as far as to say that Martial is, in terms of talent, he's more naturally talented than Lacazette. But what I would say that Lacazette appears to work harder, and he's the kind of guy that will probably get more out of himself than a Martial. For some reason, Martial, it's almost like he's playing within himself at times. I don't know what it is.
I think personally the big move just came too early for Martial, that he came from Monaco with sky-high ambitions and sky-high expectations on him. And I just think to be the main man, and unfortunately for him, Rashford coming through at the same time, it was very hard for him. And that I remember the goal on his debut against Liverpool, Martins Heiler screaming, yes!
I think he's definitely underachieved.
I agree, because he's 6-7 years he's almost been there now.
And he's never really lit it up, has he? He's shown flashes.
No, I remember the COVID year was the year he lit it up. And it was supposed to be the next year where Oli kind of gave him the full mantle, got rid of Lukaku, and it was like, now it's your time to take the shirt. And that season, I remember he just did not deliver for some reason. And then after that came where he was just kind of in and out of the side. He said he wanted to go Sevilla, didn't really score over there. Then he's come back this season, and this was kind of meant to be, all right, your last kind of Hail Mary to really prove it. And you feel like where he would even get the chance to prove it, he hasn't been available to prove it. And
if you look at his physical attributes, he seems to have everything. He's got pace, he's got power, he's got ability, you know what I mean? He seems to have the physicality. That's all those traits you would imagine, especially in the Premier League. He's built for Premier League football. But somehow the mind is not quite in tune with the physicality at times. And also, the thing that strikes you about Martial, he seems to be the most miserable player on the pitch. Have you ever seen that guy smile? Even when he scores, he don't smile.
Reminds me of Anelka. Early days Anelka. Obviously, later on in the years. But I just
that was a phenomenal talent, Nicolas Anelka.
I remember. But you always felt like with Anelka, he had that ability. But with him as well, it's he didn't stay where he wasn't wanted. Madrid, I'm out. Arsenal, I'm out. I'll go Fenerbahce if I need to. I'll go Bolton. I'll go Man City. I'll go West Brom. Like, he did not care. He went from Golden Boot at Chelsea to where did he go next? I can't even remember. But China.
He's been all around the world.
And he came back to West Brom. Had a really bad stint there.
For me, that always showed that he had that mentality of no matter what, I'm gonna play and I'm gonna get mine. With Martial, sometimes I worry that bit of mentality, that hunger to want to get to that isn't really there. And I question that even, dare I say, with Sancho now going into his second season. Is it kind of time for United to cut their losses with Sancho this summer? Because 2 years in now, do you maybe
it's not quite happened, man.
Why you can still make some money back, or do you keep plugging away at it? And United fans, let us know in the comments as well, because I'm curious to know. It's 2 years in now. Anthony, I understand first year maybe, okay, he's shown flashes. You can see maybe next year to see if he comes on another step. But with Sancho,
I think, to be fair to Sancho, there was some documented, I wouldn't say well documented because we still don't know the extent of it, but it would appear that there were some issues affecting him mentally. Now, I don't know what they were, and I wouldn't like to speculate, but you remember he did that stuff in the mountains, did all that training, and he came back, and even then we were being told that he's all right now, but he's not really lived up to expectation. In fact, it's not even not really, he hasn't lived up to expectations, because when he was at Dortmund, bit like Bellingham now, you were hearing big things. Oh, when this guy comes to the Premier League, he's going to light it up. We're still waiting, basically.
For me, I would give him a pre-season under Eric Ten Hag, because I feel that, obviously with his issues being fitness related, like I feel that maybe once he gets into the rhythm of Ten Hag ball, he could still be a real player for Man United. And maybe after a full season where he's had a full sort of fitness training run, he's on the same wavelength physically with the rest of the United team, and he still doesn't perform well, then you ask questions. Of course you do. But as far as I'm concerned, I would probably give him another go. I just don't see any harm in it. And
because I look at United's situation, and I think you've got Anthony on the right wing, who you spent 100 mil on. Then you've got Garnacho, who's coming through. You've just given the contract, who's breaking out as the next kid up. You've got Rashford, who's pretty much the left wing is his, and you've seen the numbers he's put up this year. That's already 3 solid picks. Let's not forget Amad Diallo, who's been tearing up the Championship at Sunderland, will probably come back. And let's say he's the 4th option. Where does that leave Sancho? And that's what I'm looking at. It's their actual strongest department is probably in the wide area. So Do United kind of cash in this summer, or do they kind of maybe think,
It's an
"Do you know
interesting
what?
one.
Let's see if we can try him out in a different role, maybe the number 10.
I think, let's face it, there was a huge outlay on him and a big
they
amount
chased him for 2 years. Let's
Exactly.
not forget. 2 years.
I was gonna say-
Fabrizio every
So-
month updating Sancho deal nearly done. Sancho deal nearly done.
And let's face it, if they was to let him go now, his value would have underappreciated a lot. So I'm also inclined to believe that even from a business aspect, it makes sense to give him another season and see how it goes. Because if you let him go now, it's going to be a cut price thing, man. You know what I mean?
What are his options as a player? I just don't know which clubs would resemble serious options for him.
Yeah,
because I don't know
that's
if
a
another
good
Big
point.
Six Prem team goes for him. I think he'd have to go
Tottenham
abroad.
Hotspur?
Yeah, but
Son Heung-min's on his
Actually,
last legs.
let's segue into the Tottenham.
No, ain't no need to say we're on United.
Let's talk
Chelsea.
about
We
Mr.
still ain't even touched
Slot.
on- We still ain't even touched on
Kulusevski
Chelsea.
too. Kulusevski possibly on his way out. I saw.
What are you talking about?
I think it's a nice segue. Let's talk about
Ain't
it.
no nice segue, man. We ain't even touched on the Chelsea team. I ain't read these super chats. I'm the host, yeah. You stay in your seat there, yeah. Listen, let me read out the first super chat. Perth Luxury, big up yourself. He sends $5 Australian US dollars. He says, if United pick up a point today, next time AGT is on, please play the Europa League anthem for him during the next Liverpool game.
I'll be down for that.
Mindcracker sends in a super chat as well. He says, I think Martial will stay as the backup centre forward, better option than a Weghorst, and with his injuries he will be available for just enough games to fill in when needed. He also fits the system. I do actually kind of agree with that, where I do think Ten Hag can make use of him. My only issue becomes is when United become reliant on him. But I don't think, as they said, if they do sign an actual centre forward, they won't have to rely on him. Make sure you guys are getting involved in the poll in the chat as well as to who.
Injuries are a bit of a
tonight.
concern for United, though, isn't it? Because you got Rashford in and out the team with injuries. Martial, well
That's why
documented.
you've got to have that strength and depth.
Sancho.
Remember,
Yeah.
Ferguson used to have 4 sets of strikers in the team. Do you know what I mean? And teams are coming out very shortly as well. Let's get some predictions in from you guys as well before we kick off.
Yeah, well, on that with Ferguson, Chelsea haven't won at Old Trafford since Sir Alex has left Man United. So it's been a long 10 years. It's our 10th year now. We've not won there, and sadly, I think it'll be 11 because I don't see us winning today. But I do think it'll be a draw.
You don't fancy party pooper, bro?
Oh, I'd love it if we did, but then that leaves a door ajar for Liverpool, so it's like a lose-lose.
I'm not
for
sure
us.
if it's a draw. Is it a party pooper though? Because they only need a point for
They only
Europe.
need a point to qualify.
Yeah, but if we
So-
win, we
I
leave
wish
the
I could
door.
say that
I think 1-0.
Chelsea have a chance of winning, but I can't, to be honest.
1-0. That's my call. For some reason we've got the young lads on the pitch. I hope they just go for it. And if they go for it and we lose, do you know what? It's okay. I just want to see these young guys
Yeah.
get some minutes. That's all I want.
I think the players are walking out today with,
Well, they,
I don't know, their own kids as the mascots, it seems like.
no, but they normally do that for the last home game of the season. But I think
Okay.
Man United's game on Sunday is at home against Fulham, isn't it?
Okay.
I'm not sure Chelsea
What
will be
is
doing
what
well.
is your prediction? Get your predictions in the chat going as well, guys, and I'll try and read some of them out as we're going in.
I must admit, I don't want to sound like a miserable old git, but these
Oh,
it's
go on,
very.
then.
I don't know. See what you guys think. I find it very corny. The players bringing their kids out in the last game of the season before the
such
game.
a Grinch, aren't you, man? Let the kids
Do
come and
it
have a day
after the
out,
game, man. Do it after the game.
Yeesh,
Like
what's wrong with this guy, man? Such a party people. What's your prediction?
my prediction for this game: United, man.
United.
3-1.
3-1 United.
Chelsea are so far off it at the moment. I'd like to be able to say that Chelsea are going to give them a good game.
Yeah.
Maybe even beat them. I'd like to see you spoil their party, so
think-
to speak.
Even
But I
if
just
it lets
can't see it.
Liverpool in.
I think
Yeah, I'm
it
not
will
bothered about
be a 2-1 United win, person. I think United have usually been very strong at home. As you said, Chelsea haven't won there since Sir Alex Ferguson has been there, and I've seen a strong United lineup against a beautiful Chelsea side. So,
And let's face it, they need it
experience to
way
show.
more than you guys.
Varane coming
do.
back in has helped them massively, I think, at the back there. So, yeah, 60% are going for a United win in the chat as well. 22% Chelsea and 18% for a draw. And let me read out some of these predictions. Just slipped there. Celtic says 2-0 United. Safe says 1-0 Man United as well. B Belmont is going for 4-0 United. Big scoreline.
I've gone 3-1.
Well, a fun fact I was looking before I came on here. Chelsea haven't won a game that's been televised in the UK since December. We've only won 3 games on telly all season.
No surprises. You lot have been crap this year.
We have.
Momin Sadiq says 1-0 Man United. Sancho Masterclass says George 1 foot. 2-0 Man United. I'll be looking forward to that, honestly.
I've got a question for our Chelsea fan here, actually. I was just thinking as the teams
quickly
are
just
walking
says 3-0 United. Timo says 2-1 United. Unspoken says 2-0 United. And then Gameday had a lot of clean sheets for United today. So I'm curious to see if they can do that, because David De Gea has collected the Golden Glove now, I believe. So
Yeah.
it's the best clean sheets record this season actually has been Man United, surprisingly. So we'll see if they can keep
Has
another
he been
one
the
today.
best goalkeeper in the Premier League?
No,
Absolutely
that's another
not.
conversation to have for sure. But go ahead. What question did you want to ask this Chelsea fan?
I think we can all agree, including our Chelsea fan here, that Chelsea have been a massive flop this season. I think that's fair to say, yeah, without me being
I think
facetious.
we've had a great season, mate, to be fair. But
And I think it's also fair to say there's been a number of those Chelsea players looking down that list there that have flopped.
Yep.
My question is, which player do you think has been the biggest flop for Chelsea this season?
there's so many of them, mate.
You only get to name one.
Because I'm looking at, I could name several.
No, who is the one?
Who's the one that stood out for you as being the biggest flop?
If I had to name the player I had the highest hopes for, who's let me down the most, it would be Koulibaly.
I was
Came
thinking
in,
that.
and I really thought he was going to be, Rudiger's replacement. If anything, like the same level as Rudiger, but if not, a slight upgrade. And he's come in and just been looked completely lost in the.
You know what? I
Premier
would
League.
probably agree with that.
There's talks of him going back to Italy this summer. I think Juventus going in for him, and it's sad because he means well, and he's won like the community champion for Chelsea this season. So he's clearly a good.
And I
guy.
remember when he came in, I'm sure you remember this as well, didn't he try to reach out to John Terry, didn't he? He was like your legend defender.
Yeah, they did a thing where he phoned John Terry.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
I think the funny one with Koulibaly is also he's like our second highest earner as well. He's on like 350 grand a week or 300 grand a week, and that just doesn't reflect his, how he's played this season at all. Sterling's also up there. Been a real.
I'm a fan of Sterling, however,
I am too.
He's not done it.
Because maximum potential here says Sterling flop of the year. He says
He's
Sterling
coming
is
good
an
though.
awful player.
he scored a worldie the other day, though, I'll give him that.
People make this joke, but
And
he's our
Revanite says Sterling or Koulibaly.
Sterling's our second highest goal scorer this season.
Oh, gosh. How
So
many
he's
has
been a
he got?
flop,
Two?
man, but I think he's got 7 or 8, mate.
Really?
But,
Wow.
he scored a brace against Forest.
I mean, you guys, I think Premier League, how many goals have you scored this season? 32? 36?
Not many, mate.
Yeah.
Not many.
So, I mean, being
but-
high
and,
scoring, that is not really the hardest. But I would say, personally, if there would be one player I would look at Kai Havertz. Because prior to him coming to Chelsea, he was held to the same standards as Haaland and Mbappe.
Oh.
You would hear those names, and then not far off, it was Jadon Sancho and Kai Havertz. And honestly, the same way we were saying Sancho's been a real letdown, I feel like Havertz.
Oh,
the
he's
only
definitely
thing
been a
is
letdown, yeah.
That Champions League final goal has obviously been able to hold up. We got to back off him a little bit, especially after that first debut season. I didn't think he was great as well, but he popped up in moments like that, and that's what kept it going. And then the next year, he didn't really burst on.
No.
Third year now, we haven't really seen anything, and no one can really say he hasn't been given that consistent run of games, whether it's in the central role, whether it's been.
We're off.
But this is the thing. Well, yeah, we've just kicked off as well. But this is the thing. It's constantly finding out what is Havertz's best role, and I'm like, for me, when he was at Leverkusen, it was the number 10 and also playing as a second striker, and then here he's been pretty much been able to do that as a false 9, but it just hasn't been able to come together. So if there was one player I would pick, I would look at Havertz personally.
He's definitely a contender, but I would probably stick my neck out and go
I
for
had
it.
thought you were asking on new players, which is why I went for Koulibaly. But I mean,
new, I would agree. If you're talking new players, I would agree with that one for sure.
But for
And
me,
successes, has there
great
been
tackle
any?
there.
Fofana, maybe?
as in, I think Wesley's looked
Badiashile
great.
for sure
Badiashile's awesome.
has been
I
a
love
success.
him.
Every game he's played in, he's looked incredible.
What's funny is, of the new signings, particularly the January ones, a lot of them I still have a lot of faith in and have a lot of, like, Madueke's been excellent. I feel that, there are so many players there that have
Bruno
potential.
just caught them there on the edge. Can they capitalise?
Oh.
Just pops over to Sancho. Ooh, Azpilicueta gets back just in time.
Gosh, captain slow, but
those are the kind of spaces Sancho needs to pick up.
It's just, and the problem that Chelsea have had in the last...
Just finding that gap between the two. Nice.
Not great. It's not
unlucky.
Great.
Corner for United here. Ooh, easily dealt with by Chelsea.
Easy dealt with, but...
And then it's straight back in by Anthony. Easily dealt with again.
Yeah,
I think it's fair to say that Lampard won't be there in any capacity next season, will he?
As a fan, maybe?
PTSD, mate. PTSD with his team selection.
I can't see
they've been hard.
Pochettino inviting Lampard onto his coaching staff.
Oh no, he won't be on the staff. I think there'll be a nice handover though. I feel that there'll be
a slip here from Lindelof there. Can Havertz capitalise?
What's Gallagher doing running off?
Takes his time too long there.
Nice.
Kenny just spreading it wide.
Attack him, go on.
It's promising for Chelsea. Shoots!
And he shoots!
Oh, not a bad effort.
And it's over.
Chukwuemeka, good player.
First shot of the game for Chelsea.
I must say, going back to Lampard, I'm a bit surprised, and I'm going to say this, right, even as an Arsenal fan, I'm a bit disappointed for him because I've got no hatred towards Frank Lampard. Actually, he seems like a decent guy, a great player.
Yeah.
And I thought he would have done a lot better. In fact, when he got the job, I remember myself and Robbie having a conversation. And to be fair to Robbie, he was spot on. He said, no, I don't think it's going to work. And I was saying, you know what? Lampard coming in may not be such a bad choice because obviously he's a legend at Chelsea. The players will no doubt, this is what I was thinking at the time, will like him and will respond. And if you're looking at a short term, yes, we know he's not the greatest tactical manager out there, but he might get a tune out of the players. But I was proved very wrong. Why do you think he hasn't had any measure of success? What?
I mean, my thought was when he came in, my hope was that he'd do what he did the first time, which is come in and just play attacking football, just say to the players, go out there and express yourself. And the problem is that he's come in.
Oh, this is promising.
Oh my God,
Mudryk, he's got the pace.
Lewis Hall.
Mudryk in the middle open and he misses it. Oh my God.
Who missed that?
I think
that was Mudryk, and he started that, to be fair.
I feel that Lewis Hall could have done a bit more with it, though.
Oof. It just started on this right-hand side, and then he just pops it there.
Great little ball.
It goes out wide there. Lewis Hall, great run. Wide open. He's actually onside, and he completely fluffed his lines. That should be 1-0 Chelsea.
You know what? That is
4 minutes
symptomatic
in.
of the season he's had at Chelsea, isn't it?
Mudryk.
But it just shows a lack of confidence, in my opinion.
played.
I don't think it's symptomatic of his season because he hasn't really had many opportunities.
Yeah, but that's
I think
right,
it just shows a player low on confidence.
Well, this is kind of what I meant.
But the fact that he's getting in those positions, for me, the fact that he's coming in, touching the ball, those are the exciting bits. I would, if I'm a Chelsea fan, I'm still keeping hope on Mudryk.
No, listen,
I think anybody who's looking at Mudryk and is thinking, oh no, that's a flop already. I'm like,
no, I'm not.
Oh my God, that's a great ball.
Well done.
Listen, this game has started all right, you know.
It's been a good game.
I thought it was going to be a little bit of a mid-off, but first 4 minutes we've had a couple of decent shots. Yeah,
basketball.
I mean,
great ball from Veranda. If he has a better touch there, he is in on goal. Martial, man.
Isn't there a case for him just shooting straight away there? Why?
I don't know. Maybe the keeper comes if you let that bounce.
So what I was going to say about Mudryk is I think that I do maintain that is symptomatic of his season, but I would stop short of saying he's going to be a flop because he's shown in little flashes there that if he gets his confidence, gets in a team environment that can support him and help him, he will be a player. I mean, there'll be Arsenal fans who would have looked at that incident a minute ago and thought, yeah, see, we were right, we didn't get him, blah, blah, blah. But I do think that there's a player in there. It's whether Chelsea can cultivate
Poch. Do you hope, obviously with Pochettino pretty much all but confirmed, do you hope he can kind of get the most out of it? Oh my God, and it's 1-0 Man United! Casemiro again, back-to-back games.
Didn't seem like anyone challenged him.
Oh my God.
Where was the defence?
Near post header.
Did anyone even challenge?
Everyone was just statue-esque. I literally did not expect anything to come from that. Easy as you like, free kick.
Which begs the question, why isn't Silva in the team today?
Yeah, Fofana and Chalobah starting at centre-back today. Let's just have a look at it again.
Look at this static defending.
Is he off? No, Casemiro.
No one challenged
Onside.
him.
Absolutely nobody challenged him. Fofana just marking him there, I think, and just gets
But it
away
was
from
so
him.
passive from Chelsea.
Easy as you like. He walks into that.
If you're Frank
That's a
Lampard,
great ball,
look at
though.
that. Look, no one even.
Great header, great contact. Stuck in the mud. Kepa Arrizabalaga.
Was it Havertz
Hold
who
that.
just watched it go onto Casemiro's head, basically?
Damn. That Mudryk miss now is hurting a little bit more, I think.
It is.
United 1-0 up in 6 minutes.
Wow.
See, that's football for you, see. You missed the absolute sitter
electrically
at
there.
one end.
Just checking to see
VAR.
if he's offside here.
could really
Is that
Oh,
his
it looks like he
arm?
might be, you know.
I don't
No,
think
his
Casemiro
arm is actually in line with the other arm.
I'm looking
No,
at his
that's
foot
not
looks off as
Casemiro.
well.
No, that's not Casemiro. Casemiro's the one just in front of him.
I think this could, because you see, if you look at that angle and you line it up,
Ooh.
clutching at straws.
Looks offside.
Possible offside here. VAR just checking.
Looks like Chelsea getting a reprieve.
Oh boy.
I think it's one of them where it's like,
How many goals does Casemiro have this season now, if that does get counted, though? Because I am actually thoroughly impressed with this guy.
Oh,
it's one of them. Look, it's like it's literally half the width of a finger. Like just
Only got 3 Premier League goals.
I'm a
It
Chelsea
felt like
fan.
he scored more.
Just give the goal, man. How on earth are you going to tell that?
Really? You want them to
camera?
give it, yeah?
I don't want them to give it, but how on earth they've given the goal?
There we go. I think it's onside. It's been given, and it's 1-0.
It's 50-50 that. I don't.
Casemiro, back-to-back games.
Well, if that's 50-50, I would prefer them to give the goal.
Yeah,
I think it's right that they give the benefit of the doubt to the
yeah,
attacker there, and that's coming from a Chelsea fan.
that was the old rule, wasn't
Because we were led to believe that when VAR came in,
Look at that.
it would,
Just up
it
in the
would mean that
tempo
there'd
there.
be more goals.
Was there a clear and obvious offside there?
No.
I have to be honest, and I say no. I don't think there is.
But in terms of what it's done for the game, I think it would have been a better game if Chelsea had scored first, or even managed to make it to half-time without conceding. But
Is it? Because now Chelsea need to come out, and this is what these young bucks were brought in for.
Or are they just gonna
Fold.
slump into negativity like we have done all season?
I predicted 3-1 before the game. I might
I just
have to
want a goal,
revise that
mate.
to 5 or 6.
Oh, we've not been that bad. Like.
No, but I just think you got zero confidence, as seen by that miss by Mudryk there.
And actually,
it was harder to miss, actually.
And an interesting stat on that though.
Oh, here they come again, United.
Who you reckon, Laurie? Oh my God! If he had a better touch by Bruno Fernandes, that would have
Sancho.
been 2-0.
Bruno
That's almost
Fernandes.
2 chances there, because Martial earlier as well with that
Yeah.
great ball from Varane. You felt like if he had a better touch there, bang.
This is what we're talking about Sancho, innit? You expect him to do better.
Yes.
It wasn't even it was a
Picking
good
up the
ball.
ball, driving at players, taking them on, finding that final ball. Because do you know one thing with Sancho? His final ball was actually incredible,
It was,
I think.
yeah.
But I think it's
Come on,
the
Enzo.
dynamism and the physicality of the Premier League where he struggled
Actually, let
a
me
little
correct
bit.
myself. It was Bruno that fluffed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sancho.
No.
What I found interesting.
Look at the feet from Mudryk there, and he gets dispossessed by Bruno. Great ball inside there. United playing Champagne Anthony with a
Carney.
back heel that is unnecessary.
Nice.
Chelsea on the counter.
Just run at him, man. Run at him. That's what he's there.
Oh,
for.
look.
There we go.
Here,
Havertz now. He's
Shoot!
in. Is he going to shoot?
Oh!
Good
He
stuff,
wasn't
though.
expecting that, you know.
But we like this because at least we're showing a bit of intent.
I like this as well.
To be fair to
100%.
Mudryk,
We've not seen
was
any
it?
intent like this all season.
But this is what you get with the young players, I feel like. Just that kind of hunger, that
Conor
kind of
Gallagher.
fearlessness to...
But also
like,
a
there's
formation.
nothing on the line as well for Chelsea, let's be honest. You're safe from relegation. You're not getting Europe.
I think
You're
on that
not
one-
getting top
Bottom
half.
half,
Yeah, you're not getting top half.
But it's like, mate,
I think looking at that again, I think that Conor Gallagher thinks that Kai Havertz is going to shoot,
I think so.
but
Yeah.
it's still his responsibility to be aware.
Be there.
So
What I'm liking is at least Frank's given them a platform to
Martial.
try and go
Oh
for
my
it.
God. Sancho makes a great run if he can get it to him. Here we go. 1v1 with Aspie. Show me something. Give him the feet. There you go. There you go. Oh,
too much there.
cut out.
What-
oh look,
Chelsea counter.
Look,
This
we're
is what I
having a
love.
go. We're having
End
a
to
go.
end. Give me this.
Mate, we haven't scored a goal on the counter for 2 years.
Quality, please.
And I'm not even joking.
really?
I wish I was joking, man. We haven't scored on the counter in 2 years.
You've got some pretty
Whip
quick
that.
players there. I would have thought you would have been able
We're
to
playing
manufacture
well. We're
something.
actually having a go, you know. Oh, it's just that I think to myself, if Frank had done this from the start, maybe we'd have done something at the end of the season. Just this is nice.
So where did Frank go wrong then? Oh look,
He
this
got
is good.
scared.
Oh, Chelsea breaking into the final third. Can they get a final ball? No.
Frank had no faith
United
in the
cut it
players.
out, counter-attack, Sancho driving.
Well done, Enzo.
Enzo
Nice.
breaks it up.
Yeah, Frank just had no faith in the players. You saw against Madrid.
Mate, he was doing mix and
3-6-1.
match every single game, whether it was with formations, with
Yep.
players. Do you remember that Champions League game where he played like a
3-6-1.
upside down Christmas tree? It was the weirdest thing ever. I was like, nah, this guy's just experimenting. He's on work experience, just having fun.
6 central midfielders he played.
Do you sometimes think like I do, and I've had this view for a long time now, that some managers, and let's be honest, a lot of them do it. I'm not going to name names, a lot of them do it. Sometimes they oversimplify things. Sorry, overcomplicate things. Football's a very simple game, really.
Yeah.
I was going to say, yeah.
And sometimes you
that's
get
right.
managers that come up with all these weird
Frank's never had a
combinations.
consistent team. You know,
And it's just, you just think, why just play the right players in the right
hold on.
positions and you
Hold on,
do
Carney.
much better.
Frank just plays a different system in a different shape every week. And then people ask, why has a team got no chemistry? And you're just saying to yourself, well, how on earth are they going to have chemistry if one week you're playing a back three, the next week you're
Exactly.
playing a back four, some weeks you're playing a front two, front three?
The best teams have
That's
an
what I can't do.
identity, don't they?
Pep plays.
And then
Pep plays the same shape every week, and he has done. You know, he's changed it a little bit this season, but he's played the same shape every week, and the players know what their role is.
And even Pep, as good as he is, he's been guilty
Go
of
on,
that in
hold
the
on.
past, as
Shoot.
notably
Lewis?
in their Champions League campaigns when he's tinkered with
He's
teams.
done weird stuff, hasn't he?
formations, and you think, bro, what are you doing? Like, you know what I mean?
But what I love about, well, I must say I love about Pep, but actually Pep's advice he gave to Maurizio Sarri when he came to England, he said, look, you need 18 players, you need maybe 14 in your pool of players, outfielders, and those 14 need to be your playing pool for the whole season. You need to have a system that you use and you rely on, and those 14 have to be the 14 that you use almost every game to try and build a system and a style that works in English football.
Yeah.
And you look at Chelsea now with 40 first-team players, or near on 40 first-team players. How on earth are you going to have any kind of consistency?
I think the only thing I can say about that is, to be fair to Frank, is you've got so many players there.
Oh, yeah, no.
He probably thought when he rocked up there, he said, look, I'm going to try and give as many of these players a chance as possible, because clearly before he got there it wasn't working. So he probably thought, you know what, he probably looked at them and said, look, I will try and be fair to as many of you as I can.
I'm not blaming Frank on that specifically.
If you're thinking that there does need to be a clear out, for example, for the summer, you mentioned the 40-man squad there.
More
If
or
it-
less, yeah.
Yeah. What would you say? Let me think. 8 players
Yep.
that you confirm you know that need to leave under no circumstances.
Under any
those?
circumstance.
Yes, sorry.
Yeah. Cool. So Ziyech, Pulisic, Aspie's on his way out, Loftus-Cheek's on his way out, Aubameyang's on his way out. All of them probably need to go at this point. One of our 2 keepers, either Kepa or Mendy, got to go. We need a top keeper in there. I go through it. Because the left backs no, right backs no.
Did you say Aspilicueta? His time's up, surely.
His time's up. Yeah.
7.
Have I got some? So I need one more for this.
And that's
I
a
would
solid
actually
7
go,
to be
I
fair.
would actually go with Kai Havertz. Myself.
That's a solid 8, I would say. With that 8, that's kind of like almost like the cultural reset that
Would
you
you
guys
keep Thiago
needed.
Silva?
You know, guys like,
yeah.
well, you
But
have
they're
to
the
for
8.
the experience. But do you remember like when Arteta came in and he got rid of guys like Socrates, Ozil, and all of those guys, and Aubameyang even, was almost like the final one, let's be honest. That's when you really noticed.
Yeah, we had quite a lot of dead
Because there was
woods.
quite a lot of deadwood that was just
Yeah.
sitting around David Luiz and those guys, and Willian even, even though he signed him, to be fair.
but those are the 8 that I go, they're out, no questions asked.
And you think that the
There are
wage
more.
bill, that gets deducted off of those 8 that you just mentioned, because I know Kepa's one of the highest paid, I know Aubameyang is highly paid.
Yep.
Havertz, you mentioned there, Aspie being one of the most
Yeah.
longest serving.
And
it's-
Koulibaly's another. I would
Koulibaly as well,
probably
yeah.
ship out his wage bill is just astronomical. And they're just the 8-9 players that I get rid of, no questions asked. There are probably 5 to 6 more that I look at and I think, are they going to make it at the club next season? And there's probably a debate.
And you know what's
to be
so
had,
crazy?
You know?
I hear United fans talking about they need a bit of a clear out. I hear Chelsea fans talking about they need a clear out. I hear Arsenal even despite their challenge, might be having a bit of a mini clear out.
Yeah, definitely we do. Yeah.
Spurs need a clear out. Where are all these guys?
But you know what I call that? You know what I call that? That is collateral damage, and that's going to apply to most clubs, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, you said yourself, managers prefer to work with smaller squads. That the players involved are in genuine contention for first team places. What you don't want is what's happened to Chelsea, where you've got 40 odd players all vying.
2 dressing rooms.
Yeah.
And 2 training
There was the
matches.
stories you were hearing about them not having enough space in the change room and all that.
They had to knock a wall
ridiculous.
down. They had to knock a wall down.
Ooh,
and
Anthony
make the
coming out
change
wide
room.
here.
Madueke was training in a was changing in a corridor when he joined the club. There were no lockers.
You couldn't
left,
make it up, could you?
You know,
It's crazy stuff.
it's crazy. And at that point, when there's 2 matches going on in first team training, you know that how on earth are the players getting the attention they need? It's just not. It's not.
So presumably you're quite damning of the way Todd Bowley's handled things, then, are you?
Oh, I support the ownership generally. I just think they're showing an incredible lack of experience, and it's a shame, right? Because my piece on Bowley is since they've come in, the minute they come in, they've had the right intentions. They've tried to do the right
great ball intercepted there.
Yeah, I mean, so for me on the owners, right, Todd Bowley, Ekbali, all of them, they've come in, they've had the right intentions, they've wanted to do the right thing. You can tell that by the way that they've got 2 people on the board that interact with the fans all the time. They've got the right intentions and they want to build a top club. But I think that they underestimated the challenge of it. They had such a crazy lack of experience. I mean, Todd Bowley was our sports director until gone the January transfer window this year. So you look at that and you say to yourself, these guys just didn't really know what they were doing. They came in wanting to do the right thing, saying, look, we've got the money here to do it.
I think sometimes in life that can be the case, not just in football, but in life in general. People who have a lot of money think they can just throw money at a project and it's going to work. It takes far more than that.
But I'm encouraged, though, because what they've said is we're going to step away more now. We've got the football people in place, Win Stanley, Lawrence Stewart, who will do the football things, and they will just come and provide the money, provide the support for them.
Because see, that's a
great ball there. Anthony, 3-on-1 potentially here.
This is 2-0.
Can he finish that?
2-0.
It's got to.
Martial, bad touch again, and
Got to score
Kepa
that.
grabs it up. No, Martial, I'm sorry. You have to finish your dinner
Why is he
there.
taking a second touch there?
No, that was a bad first touch in the first place. That is a great pass there. I think it's by Ericsson into Anthony. Anthony then does well to actually. He should be taking that first time. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
He should be taking that first time
There you
onto
go,
his
bang.
right foot. Open your body up. Instead, he wants to take that touch.
And to be fair to Aspilicueta, that was a
Great
good tackle.
recovery. Great
Is that a
recovery.
player low on confidence that he wants to touch?
See, whenever
thing
you
is,
see that
Scored
is-
last week, didn't he?
Yeah.
I'm thinking you're starting again this week. You've got a bit of fitness going. I'm sorry, there's no excuse for that.
There's no excuse for that. And don't forget, he missed one earlier in the game as well.
That should be your wake-up call.
But it's another criminal piece of defending from Chelsea until Aspi recovers that. And
It's mad how one pass is able to, and don't get me wrong, it's probably because you lot are playing a much higher line and trying to press higher up the pitch, but my God, that's twice now I've seen basically one long ball over the top like that split your entire defence.
Aspi's lack of pace at the back, and that's probably why Thiago doesn't play in a 4, because you have Aspi forced to play right back, although I think Trev Chalobah could have played right back. You play Aspi right back and Thiago centre back. There's no pace there. There's, it would be even worse than this. And the fact that Aspi recovered it was great, but any serious striker.
Yeah, I
on
think
any form
as well as
scores that.
Aspilicueta did with that recovery tackle, that was down to the profligacy of Martial. Second time in this game.
I will say, though,
Clear chances.
I will say though, Eriksen's always had that in the locker, and as much as I never like complimenting former
Thiago's
Spurs
warming up.
players, I don't like complimenting Man United players.
He's coming off.
Aspilicueta just looking like
Looks
he
like
picked
he's
up a
extended
knock.
his.
He always does it against Chelsea, Christian Eriksen, as well. What
Is that a hyperextension on the knee there?
Yeah, I think just on that recovery tackle, just collided with Fofana as well, I saw. But Thiago Silva just warming up just in case. I imagine Chalobah will probably get moved to right back if he does come on.
It's funny because I remember
Gallagher 1v1 with Wan-Bissaka and he slips like Bambi on ice, and then Wan-Bissaka
he's been disappointing this season.
slide
hasn't
tackles
he?
him.
Yeah.
I think again though he's been played in the wrong role, and I actually don't think he's been as bad as many Chelsea fans have said. I think he works hard. You go on the pitch, you see he plays his heart out for the club, but he's not been given any consistent starts. He's not really had a consistent role. Therefore, for me, I will let that pass with Conor Gallagher. I personally think he is good enough to potentially play for Chelsea. But he has to be, he needs a manager that will give absolute faith in him and plays him every week. And problem is we have too many players that I feel need that arm wrapped around them. And while I think Poch is the man to do that, and Fuad, you would certainly know more than me on Poch's management, Poch's man management, but you can do that for 3 or 4 players, but when it's a lot of your starting 11 which just need that,
that's what I was going to say. Do you trust Poch to be that cutthroat in the summer and come in and straight away say, I don't fancy you, and you? Because that's essentially what he's going to come in and need to do.
Well, that's what's needed.
Yeah.
I think that the club know, and I think Poch knows, and I do. And I think that the reason he's not been announced is because he doesn't want to start. He doesn't want to take one step into Cobham without him and the owners being on exactly the same page on who goes, who stays. And as far as he's concerned, I think the second it's done, and even before it's done, the work begins. It's very much we're doing this on my terms here. You're supporting me. But before I take one step
here,
into
just
Cobham,
take in,
Nonny.
sure.
Good work. Corner?
Yeah, that's a corner ball.
Good work, Nonny. He has been excellent this last sort of 6-7 games of the season. He's been the one thing, or if I had to give one thing, Nonny's been the one thing I've clung onto as a Chelsea fan. I've been so impressed with him. Scored at the Emirates. I know we're 3-0 down, but I thought it was a really nice goal. That was. It worked so hard. He's got so much skill, so much ability. I love the guy. I think he's going to be excellent for us.
He did do well against us that day. Well, that's interesting.
At least we're having a go, man, and that's what I'm really, really enjoying about this game so far, even though we're behind. All right, Mudryk. That's what we can do. Is
Anthony 1v1 giving the step piece to
Mudryk's playing
Mudryk.
left back, mate. This is crazy.
Oh, that's what you call recovery defending, doing the hard yards.
Where's Lewis Hall?
Anthony just slipping past Chalobah, and Chalobah gets the recovery.
Why is Lewis Hall playing right centre back though?
Is he just dropping in there?
It's just
while
recovery for the set piece, man.
He's dropped. Yeah, I suppose he's dropped in, but just seems strange that United attacking down that right flank, and Lewis Hall was kind of not coming in. I'm not criticising him as a player. Like I really like Lewis Hall, but Anthony
looking like he might have just picked up a knock in that challenge
screaming.
from Chalobah.
Yeah, it's a shame. You don't want players at this time of the season getting long injuries that can rule them out of pre-season.
It's always annoying.
Doesn't look good at all.
So while we're waiting for play to resume, I'm going to put the question again to Fuad, who very cleverly, slipped out the bar, as we say in Jamaica. Slipped out the bar without buying a drink. But come on, let's talk about it. Slot, turn you man down, or some people are trying to say it was the club that forced him to stay. But the upshot is that you're still looking for a manager. So what's going on, man? Why doesn't no one want to manage Tottenham?
Have you not seen the state of this club? I mean, come on.
No, but you're a big club. That's what you guys keep telling us.
I mean, come on. Like, if you're going to bite the bait that fans give you, then I can't help you, Laurie.
Uttered those sentences in the past as well.
For me, I don't know. I think the Slot situation is a funny one. I personally...
Did you want him?
Not really. I feel like at Feyenoord, he needed a lot of pieces to make his football over there click. And I don't really trust this board to give him all of that. And then is Arne Slot the kind of manager who, I don't know, 6 months before, people would have said, yeah, he'd be the next for the Tottenham job. So my thing is he maybe just the flavour of the season because he's won the title at Feyenoord? So for me, I don't want to be kind of a prisoner of the moment and just buy into the manager that's kind of won the title, if you like. For me, I think
This isn't good for Anthony at all, by the
Oh,
way.
yeah, it's looking like a...
Stretcher on the pitch as well.
Yeah, it could be a bad one. It could be ankle ligaments, it's looking like, potentially.
Yeah,
You could tell the minute he raises his hand, he's immediately like...
He looks distraught on the floor there as well.
Rashford warming up, which could be another weapon United have on the bench. Garnacho there as well, but Rashford, it seems like, is the one being brought
That's
on.
probably Anthony out of the FA Cup final, June the 3rd, is it?
Since the World Cup, by the way, Rashford's just been lights out. He's been so good. And it's been good to see him back at his best.
Yeah. Although he has tailed off a little bit.
Yeah, over the last couple of weeks.
He has.
But just back to Spurs. Yeah, I think the managerial situation, I came here when we first sacked Conte. I said, this is exactly what's going to happen. The same situation where we ended up with Nuno is what's going to happen this summer. We're going to go for a managerial 20-man candidacy process of finding the right profile, but never really specifying what the profile is. We essentially want to do Pochettino 2.0 because we've gone the big wigs, money guys way, and it hasn't worked out with Conte or Jose. If you want
Interesting comments by Jose today. I'm not sure if you heard
I'm
them.
not surprised. You
heard them, right?
Yeah, I heard them, where he's saying Spurs is the only club that he doesn't have any emotion for because the Levy club, he calls it as well. He doesn't even call us Tottenham. And I'm like, because that's how he sees it. He's like, this man denied me the opportunity to play in a final. Right.
That was a strange one, that. What was your interpretation?
One. It's a strange one, but I've gone back and forth on that one so many times. I said, like...
Was he worried that Pochettino... Sorry, that Mourinho was going to win that game, then you would have had to keep him on for a lot longer than
essentially it's a success for Jose. He came to the club that doesn't win trophies, and he's won for them. So he would have felt vindicated had you sacked him or not, basically. And at that point, things were getting so bad and toxic. He would have left with that cup and said, deuces, you lot can have your ugly football and your overhaul. But
Anthony's
now
coming
you look
off.
at it, Anthony's confirmed injured, being stretchered off there, so Rashford will be coming on. But with Spurs, there needs an overhaul in the squad. There's still no director of football. Harry Kane could potentially be leaving this summer. There is nothing appealing to any manager out there in my eyes. Like, there's talks of potentially Brendan Rodgers, and I know some Spurs fans are kind of sniping their nose at it. I've said all along when we sacked Conte, I said he's one of the people we're going to have to realistically at some point consider.
No, but he's a good manager.
He's a good coach in my opinion. I said what he did at Leicester, what he did at Liverpool, what he did at Celtic. I've seen a coach who's built a culture, built a standard, and he's always trying to push. Whether those boards have backed him or not and believed in his vision, that's another thing. I felt like Leicester this season let him down.
Yeah,
they only gave him Wout Weiss, and
Leicester
back seasons of pushing.
I don't want to digress from Tottenham onto Leicester just like that, but Leicester to me are that classic case that if you do not address things, you stagnate and go backwards.
But the interesting one with Leicester was it was COVID that stopped Leicester. Their owners lost about 100
Well, let's be honest, their
million
owner passed away with the helicopter incident, and the son took over, and it really hasn't been the same. The recruitment change and everything, and Spurs are going to have to go through that kind of similar process. Our director of football's just left. Our recruitment style's going to have to change.
So it befits the question here. We spoke about Leicester and compared them to Spurs. Leicester could well be going down this season. In fact, I think they will.
Sad if they went down.
Could Spurs, I'm not going to say again they're going to go down, but I mean, you've got no manager. Kane looks like he's going. There's even talk that Son might go. I reached out to Toby today and I said, listen, man, you could struggle next season, man.
Mate, I've said to every Spurs fan, every platform I've been on, I said, once Harry Kane leaves this summer, Harry Kane has been the one thing for me, and Son Heung-min, if you like, bar this season, were the two things that kind of, even though we were awful at the back, we could paper over the cracks with just enough goals from those two to keep us going. Regardless of what system we played, we knew on the counter-attack we've got those two. They'll give us 20 and 20, and that will just get us over, whether it's Europa, whether it's Champions League, whatever it is. Son is now on his last leg. He's shown us this season he's pretty much on the decline. Once Harry Kane leaves, that's your creativity, your goals, because let's not forget he's missed the drop deep and spray all the passes as well. So it's going to be a massive loss. And I've said we're going to go to the abyss. And what that means is, for me, I think best case scenario, it's like Arsenal, where you guys finished 8th, 9th. Worst case scenario, what Chelsea were doing
Chelsea
this year, basically, with your pants down and all season, where you're kind of talking about, hey, we passed the 40-point mark. That's what I'm going to be talking about next season is 40-point mark.
So you're saying it could get worse before it gets better?
Oh, what? It's not. It could. It will. I promise you that. That is one guarantee. Every situation like this, when you need a reset at a club, when you need a reset of culture, things always get worse before they get better. And I'm ready for it, to be fair. Like, if this club does actually want to progress, I've said the next appointment could be one of the most important moving forward in the club's history. Because, as you said, we're sliding potentially the other way. The problem with these other top 6 clubs, they always have the finances to push themselves back to that kind of above water position. Chelsea know they can have this type of year because they've stockpiled so much quality talent. It will come good eventually. We just need to get the right manager. Spurs can't be fortunate enough to be in that situation. When we lose Kane, we're hoping that we don't do the Gareth Bale situation all over again and sign 7 bozos basically who turn out to be 7 lemons. Do you know what I mean? So it's going to be a massive overhaul, and it's going to be a reset.
He's got the overlap. Wrong
and he
decision.
chose the wrong option.
Wrong
Trevor
option.
Chalobah.
I mean, that was
from
poor.
Trev, though. I was happy with that.
No, but that was poor by Bruno.
It was.
He had the obvious option was to go left, and he went right. And
Chelsea probably lucky not to be further behind, but having said
somehow you're still in there. Look, this is interesting.
Lewis Hall again on the left.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Have
terrible!
He's normally good at finishing
missing
those.
a sitter.
He can normally finish those.
Really? I think he's a poor
That's
finisher.
one for Mudryk and one for Havertz. I feel like both of those should have had goals there. Lewis Hall, great play again.
They've arguably had
stretching the
two best
game out
chances,
wide.
you know?
Good crosses in. Man, you've got to take that on your left foot, or if you're at least get that on target in my eyes.
I will say Lewis Hall's impressed me whenever I've seen him this season. I mean, we threw him into a Carabao Cup game away at Man City.
Well, you're doomed now because you've got Chilwell there, who's potentially getting a new deal, or has he got a new deal already?
I believe he's signed.
And then you've got Cucurella, who you spent 62 million on, and then now you've got Lewis Hall.
Ian
I'm surprised you didn't
Maatsen
have
Ian
him as
Maatsen coming
flop
back.
this season.
You've got to sell him, to be fair.
But Lewis Hall, people forget, he's not a left back. He came through the academy playing centre midfield.
So is that where you see his future?
I'd like to see him give
You
him
just
a go
mentioned
there.
the player there that's got to be in the shake-up for flop of the season, hasn't he? Cucurella.
Cucurella, yeah, of course. He is someone who...
Ooh, Rashford here.
The reason I don't include him within that, Laurie, is because...
No way, that's not a foul. Get
He's
up,
looking
Bruno.
for a penalty.
He's had his personal problems this season. He's
Really?
been
What are they?
burgled. He's been burgled. His family, I think, if not held at gunpoint, but held, being threatened in their own home. I think he's had difficulty settling in.
It's interesting because that also happened to Aubameyang, didn't it, when he was out in Spain just before he came to Chelsea.
Yeah. But for that
And
reason,
Di Maria, if you remember when he was at United, I remember Di Maria left United because his house got
Yeah,
burgled,
that's
and he
right,
was like, you know what, I've had enough of this England
And the
stuff.
thing with Aubameyang,
Is that a
and I
penalty,
don't
you
think
guys?
happened with...
Ooh, he just stamps on his Achilles there, actually. And then when you see the replay, look here.
No.
He barely
Is
touched
there
him.
contact there?
Barely touched him.
Soft,
Bruno,
soft.
There's nothing.
You know how Bruno is.
Always does this as well.
Shithousery 2.0.
See, this is
Bruno.
what I like about Gallagher. I mean, okay, the ball's not come off, but at least he's driven and he's tried something there.
Yeah, but it's all huff and puff.
The
no
end
quality,
product needs to be
innit? Yeah.
better from Gallagher. I accept that.
When he was at Palace, he looked so much better player.
Being a big fish in a smaller
Exactly,
pond is
exactly.
far easier than coming into a team like
He
Chelsea.
also, to be fair, I do think that Palace season as well was only really the first half. The second half, he was just kind of okay.
He tailed off,
He
yeah.
definitely tailed off. I thought, also, if you look at the system, they were playing a midfield 3 where he was the third man in the midfield, essentially. All he had to do was make the third man runs, link up play in a final third. So it's like defensive responsibilities and things like that are not yours. I feel like he's had to play different
this is
roles
interesting.
at Chelsea.
Madueke again.
Meccas look really good, yeah.
Oh, was that a handball? Nobody claimed it, but looks fishy.
But interesting because Chelsea fans.
Chelsea putting pressure high up the pitch, but then it always leaves room for this counter, and here come United again, wave after wave,
Yeah, but there's men.
wave
back.
after wave,
Got men back there. at
slowly
least.
drifted. Oh, Sancho! Oh, lovely stud roll.
Shoot!
Give it to him.
Goodness
Not
me.
quite come off
Didn't
there.
get the shot
It's
off.
actually
Yeah.
not bad defending that in the end.
Is
but
Bruno able to pick out a pass here? Sancho gets it again. No, it's Rashford.
yeah, not,
Unable to get through the
unlucky.
blue wall.
Well,
Wan-Bissaka
yeah,
out
we got
wide.
men back now.
And oh my god, that almost opened up for Casemiro.
Well done.
Casemiro loves to pick up those kind of half spaces, almost like Xhaka does at Arsenal, dare I say. But
I must say, I was sceptical when they signed Casemiro, but I
Really?
must say
I knew
he's
he'd
been
be a good player. man.
really, really good signing for United.
No, I always thought he'd be good.
I just thought he wasn't the profile the club were really trying to go for, and maybe it shows that when a top player goes on the market.
Oh, lovely move there from Sancho.
Delayed the shot for
Big
too
up
long,
Mindcracker with the super chat as well. He says, is calling Anthony a flop a little bit premature and maybe unfair? He works hard, is actually a decent passer, and seems to have a knack of scoring in big games. First season in the Prem on top of that. What do you guys think?
I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt. He's shown flashes.
Exactly,
Sometimes he's flattered to deceive, but I do think there's a player there for sure. But I think, I'm going to be honest, that didn't look good, that challenge. I think his season's probably over.
Yeah, I agree.
I think it could be longer than this season, you know, with that. When you're stretchered off, you can't make your way off. It ain't good, I must say that. So
I think there's a tendency for fans, and I think we've all done it, to write players off, just think, because they've not lit it up. Because they haven't lit it up, he's a flop. It's not always as simple as that.
He doesn't remind me of him in style, but he reminds me of him kind of by the way his first season's gone in. A young Iron Robin came to Chelsea, had an all right first season, like looked good in parts, but really came into his own that second year. And I feel that Anthony, I think people pick on those stunt moves he makes and they try and judge him as being some kind of, he doesn't work hard, he shows off, but it's just not
definitely
fair.
shows off.
He does a little bit, but
It's the favela flair,
it's
isn't
not
it?
fair. You know, I think it's not fair to suggest that's what he does all the time.
No, I'm not saying that.
And
But he does like a showboat.
he puts in, he
hasn't done that 12 for a while, has he?
Who's that?
Anthony. Remember when he first come, he's doing a little
that
360 thing.
pinball thing. Yeah.
He's not done that.
I think Ten Hag told him at one point, listen, man, you got to cut that out, bro. Like, that ain't getting you nowhere. You're not actually beating a man.
Yeah.
Ten Hag
and you're
coached
becoming a
him,
meme.
though, at Ajax. So I'm stunned that he wouldn't have coached that out of him at Ajax before he came to United.
Yeah,
Could have been
Ajax,
natural exuberance.
Ajax, you're kind of walking the league, usually winning games 5-6-0. It's like, all right.
You can kinda
a little bit of
laugh it off,
showboating, we don't mind. But when it's like, the Premier League ain't the same, baby.
Different, mate.
And especially when you're like the new boy at school as well. It's like, hey, come on, best behavior, man.
Plus,
let them
not
see
being
the best
funny,
version
but
of you.
a lot of defenders, they see you doing that, they're going to want to leave one on
Oh,
you.
man. You do that around me, you're leaving this game with one ligament missing at least.
And that's probably why Ten Hag told him
And
to
that's
allow
a very
it.
English kind of.
This is interesting.
mentality as well.
Oh,
God,
Liverpool moving very nicely
Mudryk.
here. Oh, my days. Has he got it? Oh,
Mudryk, not Lewis.
is it
Hall.
Mudryk? Oh,
Mudryk, Lewis Hall 67.
pair of blondies over there. I just can't tell them apart sometimes.
To be fair,
Mudryk
Chelsea
67.
have provided
Nah, that was some good feet.
good
there,
build-up
though.
play.
Yeah.
I just wish we'd shown this for longer because it's actually, at least it's just something.
You know what it is? It's all foreplay and no penetration.
I'm not gonna.
Matt here
I can
says,
see that
point
getting
proven.
clipped.
Very English mentality, that. Yes,
What,
it
that
is.
comment?
Yeah. Where I said, obviously, I'd kick Anthony if he did that around me. But, hey, man, listen. Don't poke the bear, as they say.
You're gonna be meeting Laurie outside for half time, Fuad. Don't want any Achilles tendons being.
No, but what Fuad said, though, is actually what does take place in football grounds up and down the country. You get
And
a
it's,
guy-
it's not just in England as well. It's like, I think in most countries. I remember, do you guys remember that kid Curlon? About 10 or 15 years ago, where he used to do the seal dribble. Where
Oh, right, yeah.
his teammates just by. And as a footballer, it's virtually impossible to tackle someone without fouling them. So what did opposition used to do? Fly kick him
this is
across his
good.
head.
Oh,
Mudryk.
Unlucky.
No, unlucky.
Don't like it.
Ball just slips away there.
as I said, Chelsea have shown some enterprising,
Build
I
up.
was going to say foreplay, enterprising
Build up. Okay.
build-up play.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the final ball, the final pass
been
shot,
there, has it?
not quite been there.
I'd love to see a first Chelsea goal for Enzo Fernandez or for Mikhailo Mudryk, actually, and those were the two that built that play up. And Frank, my friend, why haven't you done this since you came back? This has been the football that I've wanted to see. Even if we lost every game, if I was
I was
seeing
going to say,
football like
what is
this.
this? Losing football 1-0 down.
Yeah, but we're seeing young players get minutes and get some experience.
No, but you know what I call this type of football?
8.5
And
million.
that's why this works this end of the season. This is what I call D-mob happy. When you know that the season's, they've got nothing really to play for, so they can try and express themselves
That's
a bit
been
more.
us, though, for
Less
the last
pressure.
8-9 games. And he's not done it, I agree with you that it is. But the last 8-9 games, we've had nothing to play for, and we've just played these defensive, surrendering performances. And you know, it shows where we're at as Chelsea fans. That I saw players saying, you know, I saw fans saying, I'd rather we lose, but have a go and show these young players off, than us just play the same failed players that are leaving in the summer. And what I like with this team is, other than probably Asp alone, these boys are going to be at the club. These boys have a future at Chelsea, like Carney Chukwuemeka on the ball at the moment.
Oh, this is interesting. They got
Here
the
we
overlap
go.
on. Madueke.
Chelsea bodies in the
he's done
box.
for fun there.
Back post,
It's a
he
good
whips
ball.
it in,
This
and
is what
it's
I want to
cleared.
be seeing. Lewis Hall, nice.
Come on. Oh, why am I acting like I'm on a pitch?
Yeah, I love it. This is nice. Yes, Carney. Come on, Nonny.
Noni.
Oh!
Man.
And again.
Gallagher, man.
That was actually a good cross by Madueke.
Yeah. He's really exciting me. And I must say, Chukwuemeka's looked excellent. I don't know why he's not
Comes
played.
Enzo. He's looking for the 1-2. He didn't get it.
Havertz trying to be too cute over there.
Kai Havertz for you, mate.
Good little spell of play here by Chelsea. Oh, he's in behind.
Oh, he is.
Can he get the cross in?
Great ball.
Yes, he can.
Loose hold.
Shoots. Oh,
Great block by Wan-Bissaka.
Really good play, though. This is what we want to see.
it's actually a good game, this.
Ay.
Don't you think
This
so?
is. I like this. This is good.
it's a good game.
But I feel like both the first 10 minutes and the last 10 minutes have been very good, basically. And then in between was just like this lull period where the game just kept breaking up.
One Chelsea player we haven't spoken about.
Julian, I found that word hilarious as well. He just typed enterprising. And I remember when you used that word as well, I thought to myself, when was the last time I actually heard the word
Vocabulary is
enterprising
quite
used?
wide,
I was
I
like,
must
yeah.
say,
It's like when you're on
No,
a
it's quite,
work
it's
placement.
quite wide ranging. Good, man.
Find your work to be.
Learn something new every day, kids. Stick with us. Make sure you like the
Yeah,
video
one
as we're
Chelsea
going
player
along.
that I haven't mentioned, we did mention it off air. I'm going to ask you, Tom.
Yeah.
Mason Mount, what's happening with him? Where's he going? Is he staying? Is he going?
I hope he stays,
You hope he stays? Wow.
but I think there's a very material chance he's out and he's off now. And I mean,
I'm kind of thinking he's gone.
for me with Mason Mount, right? And the thing with our fan base is, it's either one extreme or the other, right? You either think he's the best thing since sliced bread, or you think he's terrible and he's a curse on our team. And for me, and I guess this is a case of football more generally, but particularly with Mason Mount, it's somewhere in the middle. He's a very good player, but is he as good as some of his fans say he is? Probably not. But
What's his status now? Is he injured
that's
or
a
what?
great ball
What is
there.
it's up
or is
in
he
the
just
air.
waiting to go?
I think that he's been the owners of
Wrapped in cotton wool.
Havertz linking up play.
or have just said don't play him because his head's not in it because he's got all this contract trouble. He's hired a new agent who is who a lot of people feel is trying to get him to leave Chelsea. And I feel that talks seem to be in a very bad place. I mean, the last thing I heard today was that the last thing he got offered was a 1-year deal.
Conor Gallagher?
Oh,
Decent
that's a
effort.
bend one, but not
I think the
quite
goalkeeper
on
had that
target.
covered.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's been talk about Arsenal being interested.
has been,
and there's no
yeah.
smoke without fire, so they probably are. But I'll
Arsenal
tell you,
hype, man. You lot are trying to insert yourself in every race, man. Listen, I heard United talk this morning, and I've been hearing Liverpool talk. I don't know where that Arsenal talk
No,
comes
no,
from.
from
there's been
time.
a little
No,
bit.
that's
Lad,
legit.
man,
That's
lad,
legit.
you lot stay
No,
over
but hear
there.
what?
You
Hear
lot stay
what?
over
Hear
there.
what? Listen.
Trying to include themselves
Listen.
and everything.
No, but hear what?
Look at us, Arsenal.
I'm one of those. I don't know if I'm in a majority or minority. I really don't know. But I don't want Mason Mount
Why not?
because that signing wouldn't excite me. He's a good player,
Yeah.
If you
but I
bring-
think we could do better.
What I would say is, I think
I
if
really
Arsenal
do.
bring in Declan Rice,
Ooh.
which it looks like you might well do,
That is the signing Arsenal need to bank their
Absolutely.
whole summer on.
Mason Mount would be a great accomplice to Declan Rice. And I feel
Well, because
that
they're best friends.
they're mates, but also I feel like they would suit
friend.
us. Your football friend.
Football friend.
They would suit that Arsenal setup under our
I think Mount should go to Liverpool. He really strikes me as a Klopp-type player, someone
Do
who
you
works hard, technically very sound. I think Liverpool's midfield needs that kind of rejuvenation.
Scores the odd
Set
goal as
piece
well.
as well. Yeah, I think he can add a lot to Liverpool's midfield that they need, where he becomes a key player for them instantly. I think he goes United.
Nonny.
I don't know if a midfield of Bruno, Casemiro, and Mount.
Oh,
my
great
God, Chelsea
ball.
are through
Shoot.
here. Gallagher!
It's missed it?
Just
How
wide.
did he miss that?
6 minutes of added time added, and Gallagher just misses.
Is it me? But have Chelsea had the better chances in this?
We've been excellent, I
It
think.
feels like Chelsea have had 3 or 4 maybe
Golden
gilt-edged
opportunities.
golden
I think in
opportunities, yeah.
attack.
Look at that ball. Brilliant.
cut 'em
Why
open.
didn't he shoot?
Because the thing is with United, I feel like their touches have let them down to get that chance
Yes.
off, whereas Chelsea have actually had the shot off and not been able to even get it on
To
target.
not
I'm
even hit
thinking
the target from there is poor.
that's a shame.
A confident Conor Gallagher scores
Havertz's
that.
header as well, Mudrik's finish as well. That's 3 chances I can think.
3
a confident-
clear chances.
A confident Conor Gallagher scores that chance, though. That's the problem, that our team is so low on confidence that even half chances, they're not going in at the moment.
Yeah.
I mean,
And
Havertz missed that couple
There've been
of
at least
sitters.
3 which have been
Mudryk.
half, if not more than half chances.
I would say that on balance,
I'd say
Chelsea
we've
have had the better chances.
So the
There
match
you go.
stats
You've got
popped
2
up.
shots for United, 5 shots for Chelsea, 0 shots on target for both teams, but 65% possession for Chelsea at Old Trafford as well.
They've been the better
so Chelsea
team.
have been actually quite dominant today, but the touches in the box you can see there as well, 19 to Chelsea and 6 to United.
But this is because Frank's come out and said to them, which I've wanted him to do from the start, just have a go. Just have a go at these United defenders. You know, 3 young attackers. Let's see.
No,
what
but
they're
you know
made
what?
of. There's
Their
no
their
pressure on them.
approach play has actually been very good.
Yeah.
Enterprising, if I might say. However,
Innovative, enterprising.
it's just not. The
Workmanlike?
finishing's been lackluster, to say the least.
It has been.
A9 here says, hell no, Fuad, we don't want Mount in Liverpool. Thinking, I've usually heard the opposite from Liverpool fans saying the opposite, saying they would love Mount, but I just think that's where Mount for me would probably be the most appreciated. I think at Arsenal you've already got Odegaard, and if you sign Rice, and you've got that position locked as well. He's not really a necessity.
If we want another midfielder, it's a
For
case
me,
of
everywhere else he just becomes another
Samey.
addition to the squad.
Samey.
Liverpool, he becomes a key player, and I think Liverpool could use him. I actually think he's someone who's underrated and a good player in my opinion.
That's
Do you
good
think
by
Liverpool
Luis
goes
Hall.
I think
4-2-3-1
Chelsea
now?
are foolish in my opinion to let him go. I think he's a symbol.
No, but I
almost
think
of
he
the
wants
club.
to go.
He
He
doesn't
wants
want to
to go.
stay by the sounds of it. I mean,
And if he wants to stay, but the only way he'll stay is by signing an absorbent fee, then you've got to say.
I don't
all right
think he
then.
wants to stay though, does he? From what I'm
But
hearing,
why?
he wants-
It's
That's
a
my thing. It's Chelsea are going through Pochettino coming in, new ownership coming in. You've won the Champions League. You haven't won a league title with Chelsea. You've grown up a boyhood Chelsea fan, you say.
he's a Portsmouth fan.
What? I know,
He's not a
born in
Champions-
Portsmouth and
yeah.
everything,
No,
but
I know.
he's been playing for the club since he was like 8 or 9. Like the
6.
guy's a Chelsea fan.
Since he
Let's not
was
deny.
6.
6. There you go. So you're not telling me this guy isn't a Chelsea fan. So I'm like, bro, you want to be the face of the franchise. You've literally got the keys there for you. But the
But you
problem
know what it is,
I don't
sometimes-
think
He's
he's
not
getting
been
the
given-
guarantees.
He's not been given that importance by the owners. That's the thing with
Mm-hmm.
Mount. He's not been given that guarantee, and he's
got
been
4
like,
men in
Coming
attack
away one
there. They've
more.
got 4.
Sancho.
Can he find
able
one?
To find
No, he can't.
Get that
Poor
out,
pass.
go on.
Poor
United have
final
actually
ball.
been a bit off it.
Chukwuemeka's been very enterprising. I would
Final
say
ball.
that.
United have just been lacking, and
And that ball there was.
Chelsea just doing the exact same as they go on the counter.
Commentators curse that
Hey
was.
man, listen.
But honestly, Chelsea have been the better side. Apart from not scoring, obviously, you
I'd
need
say
to
so.
score.
I
But in
think
terms
that's
of
fair.
their approach play and chances, clear chances created, United have had a couple, but Chelsea have had
Very
more.
open though. It's been a very open game. And an interesting fact that, I mean, we were talking earlier about David De Gea winning the Golden Glove for the season, but Chelsea have only conceded before this game 1 more goal than Man United this whole Premier League season. Chelsea's defence is within at least the top 6, if not the top 4 in the Prem.
See that golden glove there?
It's not been the defence that's been the problem.
See that golden
That's where
glove?
numbers lie to you, man.
Yeah, that
That's
golden
where
glove is a
numbers
real
lie.
misnomer.
The goal
We watch
was,
with our
I agree.
eyes, man. This is
Pre-Lampard,
not good.
pre-Lampard.
This is no good.
Lampard's come in.
That golden glove, if I may say so, is a bit of a misnomer. I can understand what I give it. I can understand the concept. But come on now,
You gotta
David
give
De
something to
Gea
the keepers,
has
but
not
for
been.
me-
It's not been a good season for
Clean
him.
sheets is
7, 8,
clean
9,
sheets is an entire defensive effort.
Yeah,
It
exactly.
should be.
Agreed.
I don't know whether you can measure XGs compared to goals denied, if you like, if there's a way of measuring that.
Yeah, there is.
But I just feel like, it should be more done on a vote, if
Bruno
anything.
Fernandes.
It's just an easy, simplistic way of awarding.
It's a lazy way of
It
kind of
is.
awarding it.
Oh, this opened up for a shot.
Oh,
great
my
ball.
God!
Oh!
Sancho, one more,
Yeah, and that's-
it's there. Martial,
Is he offside?
one.
No, he's not.
Oh, yes, he's got his one as well. And that's 2-0 Man United.
Good play by
Jadon
Sancho. Yeah.
That is a great run and very unselfish there to square it to Martial.
See, this is what I was saying.
That's
the
a kick in the teeth.
Picking up
sucker
those
punch.
spaces is what I've been asking for Sancho, though. This game, when we started, I said, these two, this is what they need to show in this type of game. Show some energy, show some oomph, get in the right positions, sniff the danger. And Sancho, in a couple times, he's picked up these kind of half spaces between the defenders. Look at that. Great time to the run, curves the run, onside. Lovely touch.
And I think it's...
and look at that, onside again to Martial. Unselfish, because I thought that was offside.
It's
As easy as you like. Hey, no look pass from Casemiro. Ooh! Flex on him.
Yeah, no, I mean, Martial can't miss that one.
Unlucky!
I think that is fairly safe to assume now that Liverpool's chances of Champions League football.
Winning 4-2, mate.
Alex, if you're listening somewhere, I hope you've got the Europa theme on in the background, lad.
Every cloud, my friend. Every cloud, my friend, has a silver lining. It's nice to know Liverpool won't be at Europe's top 10.
But if you're Frank Lampard, you must be feeling so frustrated with this game because you've had a good half.
Yeah, but
you've had most of the possession, most of the best chances, and yet you've conceded 2 sucker punch goals and you're 2-0 down.
Because the 2 goals are completely avoidable. Is the thing that.
Well, that'll make him even.
It's not 2 worldies.
Sancho.
No, but that's what I'm saying. That'll make him even more
Sancho is
frustrated.
feeling himself today. I'm sorry. Sancho has got the juices flowing.
It's 2 pieces of just shambolic defending. And I accept, United have been clinical. Is 2-0, does that reflect the game? Possibly not, but...
No, it doesn't for me.
Two completely avoidable goals, and now the players will be going in completely cut up and upset. And really, I hope they come out and play like they have done that half. Because if we do, we will score goals. But it's just depressing that it's going to be another defeat for us, most likely now.
Do you feel like that's a harsh scoreline? Half-time whistle blown now. It's 2-0 Man United, but do you feel like that's a harsh scoreline going into it?
I do, but for me, and I guess this is my piece on Chelsea, that we might be losing this game, but this game's given me more positives than any of the games we've had in recent weeks because he's given it to young players. They've come out, they've expressed themselves. Yes, we might be 2-0 down, but we could have scored 2 or 3 goals in that half. And I don't remember a half in about 6 months where I can say we genuinely deserved or created chances to score 2 or 3 goals. And this is at Old Trafford. We've not won there since 2013. And I'm seeing Chukwuemeka play well. I'm seeing Mudryk create space, but even better than that, I'm seeing Madueke really expressing himself and saying to Poch, this is what I can produce. Put faith in me. This is what I can do for you. I'm seeing Conor Gallagher very enterprising, in the words of Laurie there, but maybe not the end product. But at least they've come out and expressed themselves. And for me, that's all we're asking for as Chelsea fans. We're not even at the moment asking for results. We're asking for a group of players to come out and have a real go. And I feel like at least they've done that.
They have done that.
In terms of the defending, there are a lot of problems. Of course there are. But I feel that can be fixed with a constant back line, a coach that knows how to coach defensive play, which I feel that Poch does. But the fact I've seen some expression, some real determination.
Is it too little too late though?
No, I don't think so.
No.
Every piece of good play now we take into next season with those attackers. And for me, we could easily have come out, played a very defensive shape and drawn 1-1 or lost 1-0 or something like we did at the weekend. But at least these boys have come out and shown what they're all about, even if we haven't got a goal yet.
Do you feel like that's a justified scoreline, 2-0 at half-time?
Yes and no, because although Chelsea have played well, and I mean, look, I'm looking at the stats there, 7 shots on goal to United's 4. But they're none on target. They've been profligate up front and they've conceded 2 silly goals. So you got to say they deserve to be losing, although they have played reasonably well. But you know what it's like in football, man. You have to score your goals and then you have to keep clean sheets at the other end. They've done neither. They're 2-0 down, and I think it's fair to say they're going to lose this game.
Listen, I think we predicted that kind of coming into this game. Chelsea.
I did predict 3-1.
You predicted 3-1?
I did at the start, and I'm sticking with that actually.
Did I predict a 2-1? I think I said.
I think you. I know you definitely predicted
a United win. But yeah, I mean, United at home this season have looked comfortable all season, but you just felt like they weren't being very clinical. Kind of always the final ball kind of lacking, the touch almost missing on a few of those final chances. But when it mattered, came up with the moments.
2 sucker punches, really.
Literally, yeah, because you feel like Chelsea, as you said, they've been kind of 3 big chances. I feel like with that Havertz header, you kind of had the Mudryk sitter, and then the third
Conor
one just
Gallagher.
at the
In
end.
fact, I think Conor Gallagher's had 2 very good chances. He's had,
and you just feel like had they put at least one of those away, it could have maybe changed the momentum of the game. But Chelsea will feel hard done by, I feel like, going into this 2-0. And
they will feel hard done by, but as I said, they've been profligate up front and they've committed silly errors at the back. So therein lies the tail.
Is this the kind of
but
result
in the middle of that, the approach play has sometimes been very good from them. But as I said, those 2 areas, up front, at the back, it's got to be on point.
Do you worry for United if they go into kind of the FA Cup still playing like this, where it's not really at home? You would think that they'd kind of be a little bit more fluid, a little more on it.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from. They've been opened up quite a bit at times, haven't they? Chelsea have got him behind him. Madueke in particular has got him behind his fullback. But with City, it's very much a one-off game. Will we even see the same side in that match? Probably not. Well, we know we're not going to see Anthony in the final, for example.
Yeah.
I think it's fair to assume that he's out for the rest of the season. It's a big blow for them. But they do have players that they can bring in, so it's not like they're.
Let's actually have a look at a few the players on the bench as to some of the names that can make a difference.
Just going to take a break, guys?
Yeah, go for it. Marcus Rashford has obviously come on for Anthony, who did come off injured in the 30th minute. But United, of course, still have Harry Maguire, Diogo Dalot, Malacia, Fred, Scott McTominay, Garnacho and Weghorst. And Garnacho's probably the one who I'm looking at probably could make the most difference there and a bit of an impact. But 2-0 up, I assume they'll want to keep their players fresh and available for that kind of FA Cup final that they've got coming up. Chelsea's bench, let's have a look at it. We've got Mendy, Gilchrist, Koulibaly, Silva, Loftus-Cheek, Ziyech, Pulisic, João Felix and Fofana on the bench as well. So a lot of players, to be fair, that you said you wanted to leave. So any that you would kind of bring on maybe, or would you kind of go again with the same group and see what they can kind of come up with?
So a part of me thinks in attack, I'd like to see another 45 minutes or at least another 20 minutes at least of that attack, because I think it was effective largely. The only thing perhaps is the focal point and lack of a focal point. So maybe I've wanted to see a little bit of David Datro Fofana come in, maybe see what he's all about. Even João Felix, I mean, his future's up in the air. For me, I don't think he's done enough to warrant staying, particularly not for the money being quoted. I mean, if we're asking 80 for Mount, Atletico asking 80 for Felix, I don't think that even swapping Mount for Felix is a good use of money, let's say. Look, I have nothing against Ruben Loftus-Cheek. If we see him come in, maybe stabilise the midfield, that wouldn't be something I would be against. And young Alfie Gilchrist, Cobham graduate, hasn't, I believe, played yet for Chelsea, had any minutes. So
I reckon a lot of youngsters out there today, maybe he can make his debut. What position is he?
I would like to see it. I believe he's a defender.
Okay.
I could be wrong on that. I'm going to sound very much a lack of experience there. He's a central defender, right-footed centre-back. So I don't know necessarily if it's kind of the game to put a young centre-back in against a kind of, you've got your Rashford, you've got Martial, you've got some really good attackers there for United, but maybe with 10 to go, if the game's kind of meandering away, bring him on, just give him some minutes, making your Chelsea debut at Old Trafford against Man United, you won't forget that. So for me, I think I would probably look to give him his debut if we can do. I mean, there's Koulibaly and Thiago Silva. I mean, Thiago will be here next season. It's been confirmed. So, yeah, to be honest, I'd like to see 45 more minutes of that team broadly, because as I say, I don't think they've let us down in attack, and that's the area I've wanted to see the most, mate. You know,
almost not letting the scoreline be a reflection of what the game has actually been.
What do you think, Fuad?
A lot of Chelsea fans kind of saying it's kind of story of their season. What do I think regarding
the flow of the game, us in attack? Whether you think maybe you have seen a bit more from us than you would have seen?
Yeah, but it's one
past?
game. That's the thing, and it's it's essentially one half where you're 2-0 down. So as much as I would love to kind of praise it, it hasn't really resulted in anything. And for me, I just feel like there has been progression, but is it going to be tangible progression that's going to go into next season now? The thing I would take away from this is the individuals who are showing that they're hungry.
Yep,
the individuals who are kind of showing that they want to be here next year. As I was saying, for that front three that you were saying, pretty young. That midfield three, pretty young. United today, I said their front three, they've got to kind of make their mark if they really want to be part of Ten Hag's plans next year. If Martial wants to be that backup forward, go and chip in with a goal today. If Sancho wants to show, go and give an assist like that and show little bits throughout the game that you want to pick up. I still think he could do more in the second half as well, Sancho. Yeah. But these are the types of moments where you have to kind of take those opportunities. Great. Anthony, of course, went off injured, but I think Chelsea, there's individuals, positives to take for sure. But at the moment, it's not really kind of coming up to anything, so you can't really get too excited by it.
But I guess what I'm encouraged.
But definitely, as you said, second half, go with the same team again. I think you've seen enough where the press is good. You're actually creating chances, and partly it's because I think United are allowing you to create those chances because they play so deep. They're kind of almost inviting you guys and inviting the high press. So that is part and parcel of it. But I do think Chelsea do definitely deserve a goal or two today, but as some people have said, it is kind of story of your season where you've really created some chances, but then the one or two chances you do get per game where you should be putting them away, you don't, and then it ends up coming to bite all the time. So
I think what you can say about Chelsea without any equivocation is that they are putting in a shift. They have down tools, which is good to see.
They're playing for next season, and that's what I like. They've sat there and they've said, look, we want to show why we should be involved next season, why we should be a big part of this project. That's why I'm coming out of here, and I'm not getting annoyed at that half, because I'm seeing enough players and enough people that are saying, putting their hand up and saying, I want to be at this club. I want to be a part of the Poch chapter. And I feel that Poch would be a great guy for some of these players. You know, as I say, give them those minutes, give them that support, that man management. With Poch's man management, you can see that the talent's there. And that for me is what is probably encouraging me more than actually getting me down and out about this half. I've seen us lose all season. One more loss.
How many of those players do you think you'll keep then?
Of the team out there today, I think the attack probably stays. I think Kai Havertz probably does stay, even if, for me personally, I'd probably rather he did part ways.
I was going to say, if I'm a Chelsea fan, I want him moved on. Man.
I think the midfield
Havertz.
three.
I would agree. 3 seasons, you've had your time. You haven't really stamped and made it your own. At this point,
but who does he go to?
And plus, he doesn't give me that
Bayern Munich
confidence
would
that
be
he's
willing
going to
to
improve.
chomp at that. They need a number 9. They would happily take him.
I don't know if he's that 9 that they need personally.
I think Bayern Munich would jump at the chance, in my opinion.
In the Bundesliga, maybe he could be a 9.
I think a club like PSG would even look at it with the likes of Neymar and Messi potentially not being there next season.
Who they want.
Who?
I think they want Ziyech. You know, was this
don't you want Neymar?
A broken fax machine away from going to PSG on loan in January. But
I mean, January is a whole different thing to summer. January is like, you know, I'm a bit desperate. You know, I need a little something. Summer is like, I'm good, man.
No, for me, the midfield 3 stays. Enzo, Carney, Gallagher. Maybe Carney gets a loan, but I think after this, maybe not. I mean, I'm not saying that one swallow makes a summer, so to speak, but if he keeps playing like that, I could see him playing a role next season. The defence, no. The defence, not so much. You know, Aspi might be on his way out. Trev Chalobah might be on his way out. Lewis Hall may be on loan next year, as we've mentioned. You know, we've got Ian Martson, we got Cucurella, we got Chilwell.
Chelsea always tend to sell well.
Got Reece James.
Under Marina, yes.
Listen,
you've missed him, by the way.
Sell well. We can't afford to sell well this summer. Because if we wait for top values for players, we won't get rid of the deadwood that we need. We need to take some L's in terms of money. in my humble
It's
opinion.
not always about making a profit. It's more about getting the numbers out.
If anyone
That's
can
been
afford
our
to take
issue.
an L money-wise, it's Todd Bowley.
That's been our issue, that in the past we've sold well in terms of money, but the fact that we've waited for good fees has meant we've kept so much deadwood that it's come to a season like this where we've had 40 players and it's just chaos because we've got so much deadwood that we haven't moved on. And transfer windows are as much about transfers out as they are transfers in. And for us, we haven't got enough players out the door in probably the last 3 summers. And that's why it's come to where we're at right now, in my opinion. So I agree with you. We have sold well, but in some ways I want us to sell badly. I want us to just take a load of L's.
Fire sale at Chelsea.
Fire sale this summer. Make sure you come and buy one, get one free.
If you want to take our deadwood,
Listen, over 1,200 of you in the chat as well. Make sure you guys are throwing the likes up. Half time almost coming to an end. Second half players just coming out. Give me your
Can I
predictions
just
again.
say, Fuad, for those people watching, thanks for watching, obviously. Press the like button. But for those of you who love your boxing, DR Sports are doing a live stream this Saturday. We're focusing on the WBO Cruiserweight Championship of the World. Lawrence Okoli versus the challenger, Chris Billam-Smith.
Okay.
Takes place in Bournemouth. We will be on air from, I think, about 9 o'clock on Saturday. So for those of you who like your fight, get in there, man.
Yeah. Make sure you go check out the links in the description. On Track GP, DR Boxing as well. Stay tuned in. We got you covered on everything. Let me read out some of these comments as well. Andrew Green, he says, keep your deadwood, fams. Astral says, if City get Kimmich, oh God.
I don't know.
Eltida Key says, if City get Kimmich and we get Mount, I give up.
Malassia's coming
Who's
on
we?
for United, Fuad.
Oh, seems like Tyrone Malacia coming on for Luke Shaw. It seems like.
What, is that
Wonder what's
an
happened there.
injury? Is that tactical or what?
I don't know.
So, yeah, it's just
Luke Shaw was getting the business a little bit by Maduaki, though. You know?
Yeah.
So maybe Malassia, they feel, has got a little bit more pace. Maduaki was giving him the business there, Cole.
Madueke is a skillful boy, man.
Yeah, he's
Chops
also
you left
quick
and
as
right.
well.
And he's really impressed me. I mean, for me, I would have to.
Where did he
think,
come from? What club did he come from?
Spurs.
Eindhoven, but
Spurs.
He was
Came from us.
Academy.
Spurs.
Well, you
Academy.
give him
One of
away.
our own. He didn't sign the pro deal. He knew that there wasn't going to be a path to the first team, so he said, I'm off to PSV. PSV put him in the first team within a year. The very next year was his breakout year. Then he got a big injury. Then he kind of recovered, came back, and then January they came in. I always said him and Marcus Edwards were the two biggest ones we'll regret letting go. And so far, Marcus Edwards has come back to us in the Champions League and haunted us over both legs.
He
And
was
then
good,
Madueke
man.
has gone to Chelsea.
He was good
and-
against us as well, by the way.
Yeah,
What I mean-
yeah. I love that as well.
I bet he
yeah,
did.
of course you do.
KMC says, Chelsea
Come on,
fan
Lewis.
here, we can't finish our dinner even if we didn't eat 10 days ago. Damn. Udita, another chat here, says, Gallagher is an English Fred. Interesting.
Wow.
I've never thought to compare the two players actually, but
No, he's better than Fred.
I think what I find
kind of
interesting
the same,
with
aren't
Nani,
No, I'd take.
Pitbull's in midfield. Not really great at any particular
I
thing.
think if
but
it's purely defending,
sounds at
if it's purely
most
defending,
things.
then Fred. But I think if you're looking for something a bit extra, Conor Gallagher's a
I
better
agree.
player.
Yeah. Conor Gallagher is probably
packs
more
a
of an
punch.
H. But then Fred, I don't know, if you check his Shakhtar tapes, that boy had a rocket on him, you know? I don't
Really?
know where it's gone since he's come to United.
Yeah,
If you see Fred at United and Fred at Shakhtar, two complete different players. You genuinely would not even recognise him. The guy was scoring screamers, dictating tempo, controlling midfield.
Oh, he got robbed. Gallagher got robbed there.
Gallagher.
Lindelof.
And they're in.
Lindelof. One more.
Oh!
That
Wow,
defending
wow.
is-
Bruno. That's poor from him.
Bruno hitting the post.
And that started from Conor Gallagher being dispossessed in
that
midfield.
defending's just atrocious.
That is
Look at
sloppy.
Fofana.
But that is a dangerous place to give him the ball. You can see there's three men around
No,
him.
but he
Fofana
dwelt on
there.
it. He should have been put.
I don't know. You're giving him in a dangerous position there in my eyes. You're almost set up to fail.
But Fofana did that against Man City, and that was how we conceded the goal.
Bruno, man. He almost gets too much on it.
But you know, It's the second time in a row Fofana's done that. 2 games in a row now.
I don't know if you're Gallagher, you got your back to the ball like that. You got to pass it. What was he trying to do?
Oh, unlucky Havertz. Was that?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No.
You got your back to play. Someone plays you the ball in. Yeah, it's not great, but give it and go. He dwelled on it and he got dispossessed.
What I'm happy about with Madueke is at PSV, I heard from him he would never play a full 90, and his fitness was a real problem. But
Who's that?
Madueke. But it seems to me that actually, particularly during this end of season run at Chelsea, he's not really had any problems
getting on those 10K.
Mate, I always find those stories to be hilarious, man. It was like Ozil when he was at Real Madrid. People used to say, Jose doesn't let him finish games because he can't finish 90 minutes. I'm like, bro, these guys are professional athletes. Don't tell me they can't run for 90 minutes, bro. Like,
no, I know.
Now, if you're saying maybe they can't maintain their levels for 90 minutes, that's different. But statistically, every player, when they get tired, there's a drop-off in your quality.
I think it's also fair to say that with Ozil, I mean, I can comment on Ozil because I've seen him play in the flesh several times. Some players, their physicalities or lack thereof, and it's not suited to the Premier League. I think Ozil's a great player, but I think you'll find the Premier League was a bit of a hard slog for him, man, even at the best of times.
Yeah.
So... yeah.
What's funny with Noni, I think he only did finish maybe 2 or 3 games for PSV in his whole time.
He didn't finish many, but I remember that was one of those. Every time I used to say, we should re-sign him, people would always say, he can't even finish a game. Why'd you want him? He can't stay fit. Why'd you want him? And
That's
I was
not
like,
a reason to
bro, look at the ability of this kid. When he's fit and you see him playing, you see a talented player, but I don't know.
A funny one, and I shout out my friend on this, and he loves this player, but when Leicester won the league, Shinji Okazaki always got taken off on 70, 80 minutes, but it doesn't mean he's a bad player. That means he puts in a shift for 70 and then gets taken off. And
one man who's perfect for the Premier League in terms of his physicality and engine and all of it is a man that's not playing tonight. Is he injured again?
Who are you talking about?
N'Golo Kante.
He's injured, yeah. He's got another... It's slightly...
You're talking about a man who could literally run all day.
Great ball here. Lewis Hall just getting back in time. Great bit of defending.
He's impressed me tonight in attack and defence.
Yeah, he's had a good game. So is Kante injured again? That's worrying, isn't it? He's been
nothing
getting
serious. I think if it were me, I wouldn't play him the rest of the season. Just get him ready for next year.
Axel sends the chat, says, Tom is one of the rare few Chelsea fans I can respect.
Oh, thank you, Axel.
But then Abdul Hanif says, Tom is ashamed of wearing his Chelsea top. I noticed he stopped wearing it.
He's got a Chelsea top on.
There you go, Abdul Hanif.
Oh
my God.
I'll tell you what, Abdul Hanif. I'll tell you the story why I'm not in a shirt. I was informed I was doing this around lunchtime. I had no merchandise at work, so I popped down to the old sports shop at lunchtime and bought this hoodie, and I think it's quite nice, all right, Abdul Hanif.
Freshly bought for the show.
Yeah, I'm not having
bad,
any of that, mate.
Although, quite where Chelsea get black and gold from.
I think I got it on a sale. It was our Champions League. It was from the summer of our Champions League winning run.
Oh, okay.
I think it's quite nice. Where's Arsenal's? I don't know where any gold
black and gold.
Any of Arsenal's.
They'll be talking about that. Oh, do you remember our black and gold kit? It was so good.
I bought that shirt. That's a great shirt.
Do you remember our pink kit? That year was so amazing. Take me back to the pink kit days.
We pushed City to the limit.
No, that was a great kit. Even you guys got to say that.
Now, do you know what was your best ever kit? Yeah,
Bruce
the blue JVC. It's like a blue and blue. I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah. I know the one.
Incredible.
Yeah, blue and light
the
blue.
Night. Oh, man, I can't lie to you. That was one kit. Like, that era, I don't know why, you lot had, like, some great kits, man.
I think we've had a couple of good kits
I
this
think
season.
since I can't lie to you.
Don't forget the Jamaica
I've never been a
top as
fan
well.
of your Emirates era kits. I don't think any of them
No?
really
You didn't
been
like the
all that.
black one?
Nah.
I thought that was a great kit.
02 was
And
very
lately,
good.
to be fair, the last couple of years with Adidas, you lot have been much better than what you were under Puma. Puma was nasty.
Meh, I must say that.
But Adidas now, I just feel like you lot are too much of a designer club. Now you lot are just bringing out kits for the sake of kits.
Well, we had another one that's coming out tomorrow. I think.
Yeah, you see, there you go. So you lot drop 6 or 7 kits every year under Adidas. And
Oh,
I'm like, oh my God, Wan-Bissaka
It's got a score.
left foot. Oh, he cuts it back for no reason.
United.
It is Wan-Bissaka.
What was the reason?
United.
Take that with your left, man. Oh my God, he's in. He's kept out. How, Sway? How? How? Oh my God!
This is the same old Chelsea. This is what we've been seeing all
How
season.
did United not score there? I do not
don't know.
understand. They had about 3 chances because look, Wan-Bissaka, it breaks to him randomly. Oh no, this is when they square it. It's come off someone there. Ericsson didn't even know it hit him, I think.
That was poor by Lewis Hall there, by the way. He should have
So look,
cleared
he
that
just
ball.
fizzed it
Just
across.
leathered it.
Yeah, he's tried to. It's gone behind him, and he's just tried to flick it back. That's a
I
good
don't know,
recovery by
because
Kepa.
look,
See here? He should have. That ball should have been
just
away.
Leathered it, yeah.
That should be Rose Ed right there, isn't it?
No, I agree with that, but I'll let him off that. You know, he's had a good game, but no, you're right. Criticism where it's due, I suppose. But
Kepa.
yeah, he's not the man to take us forward in that. It's a shame. 'Cause
Latif asks if United qualify for the Champions League, are the Glazers going to sell them?
Best time, isn't it?
I would think so. Stock's high.
Yeah.
You can still kind of get your money's worth if you like.
They're under pressure to sell, aren't they, really?
Yeah, but the question is can they get it done in time? Because that's a lot, I imagine, back and forth. But then also that new board get their ideas across to what they want from Ten Hag. Ten Hag, his demands, what he expects from them. Like, it's a lot that needs to happen. And then you've got a summer window that opens up in a couple of weeks. It's like...
Yeah. Over the summer is not a good time, I don't think. And managers and new takeovers don't tend to mix very well.
I think you guys were low-key kind of lucky having it done mid-season where you can kind of write off the year, use this to sign players, and then pre-season it's like, oh, everyone's pretty much here. All you've got to do is sign maybe 2 players.
Yeah,
and then it's like, we're set.
Pre-season's huge for us. As I say, it's about departures. But with United, I would worry because they've got a project under Ten Hag, and if a new if a new owner comes in, there can be friction. And Chelsea had it with Thomas Tuchel. You know, we thought we were set with him, or at least as far as Chelsea goes, we thought we were set with him.
Rashford looks in a bit of trouble.
But he just, you
know.
Oh no, I think he's all right. I think he's all right, isn't he?
Jemmy's saying they've set a June deadline for the takeover, apparently. So
deadlines are always flexible. You know, if someone comes with the right money, you know. And the thing is,
They'll
if
probably
they're
end
right
up with
June,
Qatari ownership.
No, but if they're right about June, right, and an offer is accepted, and I can say this from memory, the Chelsea one, we knew it were going to be top bowly, but it took 1 to 2 months for it to be finalised and for the, for the I's to be dotted and the T's to be crossed. So, yes, June deadline is all well and good, but it won't be done until the end stage of July. I would say that.
It's good play by Chelsea there.
Oh, Wan-Bissaka with a tackle there. Is that a booking?
Just found it funny how we've seen Victor Lindelöf in the final third attacking. We've seen Wan-Bissaka almost get his goal.
Listen, the Chelsea boys, I mean, the United boys want to get theirs as well, man.
Yeah, it's just been quite curious when you saw Lindelöf in the number 10 role. But it's kind of gone as I feared, that goal just before half-time seems to me to have just knocked Chelsea off the kind of momentum.
Here they go again. They're in behind.
Come on here.
One more. Great
That
ball
wasn't a bad
again,
cross, I just
man.
need somebody
Nobody
on.
wanting.
He fizzed it across the goal.
Where was
which
the
is
strikers?
Nice, but let's see what happens here.
So they say you got to break your neck to get in there.
Yeah, and he fizzed it across, which we like, but see, I don't.
Enzo, nutmeg.
that's
Okay, I
gorgeous,
see you,
huh?
playboy.
The guy can play.
Can we get a finish now?
Ooh,
Gallagher.
Okay.
Whips.
Okay.
Going in
Wan-Bissaka
the
clears.
box again.
I guess another Chelsea positive this season. No one's talking about Enzo's price tag anymore, and this is in a team that's finishing 12th, and that's
Oh,
something for
great
me.
counter. Wan-Bissaka and Sancho linking up
Well done,
here
Lewis
to
Hall.
go out for the throw-in.
Well done, Lewis. So that for me is another positive.
Hey, production. Someone just let me know in the comments as well. You've got the time stuck on 51:18. Come on, man. Game's just moved on.
It's gone down in a heap there. Is that Rashford? I can't see who it is. Oh, come on, Nonny. That's what I love about him. He just runs
And that's a good recovery from Malacia, I thought. But
given a foul there?
given.
Looked like that was a foul.
What I like about Nonny, what I really like, he just runs at you. He just goes for it. It's like there's no fear there. And that's... I know I'm waxing lyrical about the guy, but...
No, but you know what? I like to see...
We're in 12th, all right? Allow me
to
try and be positive, all right, Fuad? All right, Laurie?
No, I enjoy it.
Small wins in life, okay?
Can Chelsea get back in it? I mean, if they
Got
get
a free
one...
kick here.
Get one, you never know.
You never know.
Just
I don't
over 30
see it.
minutes.
That's a
I don't
decent
see
idea.
Quite
What about
out
the cross?
wide.
To me, that should have been an aerial cross.
I don't see it the way I saw it in the first half at the moment, but you know, you can get a goal out of nothing, can't you? So, yeah. Chelsea corner, which is what we like to see, but give us something. Give us something, boys. Oh, Lewis is taking it.
It's a short one.
See.
Oh, he's...
all right. Oh, yeah.
Oh, good effort.
I like that. Oh.
Another shot there.
Oh.
Great catch by
Another
David De Gea
decent
there.
opportunity there for Chelsea.
Super chat from Anthony Lafleur here. He says, big up the channel. Tom, what should my expectations be for Ruben Loftus-Cheek if my club AC Milan end up signing him?
Yeah, really good question, and it's looking like it's going to happen, isn't it? I think Ruben Loftus-Cheek is a perfect fit for Serie A. I think he's a physical midfielder. He'll drive forward. For me, when I look at AC Milan, you know, you got Benacer, you've got Tonali. And I feel that in that pivot, he could be a really serious player for you.
Obviously, Benacer, I think, out for the rest of the calendar year, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong, Anthony, but he's out for a while, and you kind of want someone of that mould. Do you think you've seen players go to that league and obviously do well, whether it's Tammy, whether it's Tomori as well? So do you think he could be the next one?
I think he will. And I tell you as well, I saw Pioli playing Benacer slightly in a slightly more advanced position, and maybe he's looking at that and he's saying, you know, Loftus-Cheek can do both. He can play a bit more advanced, but he's also really good deep.
Chelsea got overlap here.
Under Thomas Tuchel, he almost played as a centre-back for us.
What about the cross?
Oh, is there a finish it? Nope.
Yeah.
A bit passive, that.
So to whoever asked the question, as an AC Milan fan, I would be really excited because
now you know he's on the counter attack, and they've got an overlap. Bruno's on the
Oh,
overlap.
Bruno, left foot, cuts
Surely.
it back, and it's behind him.
Should be 3-0 at least.
Too many times you've just found that the ball has been played incorrectly when it comes to United finishing their chances, but still they find themselves 2-0 up, 60th minute.
I feel like
Chelsea coming in, Madueke again. He's been tormenting United on this side.
Oh.
2-on-1, that's a penalty. I'm sorry.
Oh, Ray.
You got to look at that. He got none of the ball.
Let's see.
That's got to be VAR.
Yeah, we'll have a look, but I don't know. Let's see.
It has to be.
For the game, I think it would be great if it was a pen. Don't get me wrong.
When there's a break in play.
I think for the game, it would be perfect because it sets up a grandstand finale. But as a Milan fan, mate, you should be very excited. That'd be my last word on it.
Well, Anthony, there you go. Glowing review. And yes, Anthony says Benacer will be out for 6 months. So yeah, honestly, I do think good like-for-like replacement. I think he needs a fresh start somewhere else. I think the Chelsea, he's tried for as long as he can to make it work. Availability has been the only problem. You just hope that when he does go to AC Milan, similarly, he doesn't get injured like Benacer and he can actually be someone who can rely on and his fitness does improve.
Yeah. Something I only learned a couple of months ago was that Benacer was at Arsenal and played, played a couple of games for Arsenal.
As a youth product, but you lot didn't follow up.
Had no idea.
Dave 109 says that wasn't a pen, he dived. Mad.
Well,
says
it's
100%
interesting that
dived.
he didn't even go to VAR.
It doesn't look like they're taking it serious. Has the ball even gone out since?
And I have to say as well, there wasn't like wholesale appeals from Chelsea.
Possession though.
Madueke appeal, but none of the others did.
73% possession for Chelsea, which is it's a shot on target.
You can kind of tell your teammate's gone down a little bit easier, and you're like, "Get up, mate."
Let's
have a look
see
again
this
here.
now. I don't know.
Okay, yeah, I see it. Casemiro did get the ball first.
He simulated as well, I think.
Let's have a look again. No, man, he doesn't get it. But I will say it's not a foul as
a
well
bit
because
soft.
Madueke steps on
It's very
Casemiro
soft,
and
yeah.
falls over.
It's very soft.
He's trying
I
to
think,
bite,
if it-
really, isn't he?
Michael O'Connor
Good-
sends
good-
a
good
super
referee,
chat.
innit?
He says,
Good
one
referee.
more interesting matter. Great watch-along, Laurie, for the Lomachenko-Haney fight the other night. Boss panel you have for the boxing.
Sorry, can you say that again? Sounded like a compliment.
Yeah, it was. He says, on more interesting matters, great watch-along, Laurie, for the Lomachenko-Haney fight the other night.
Make
Boss
sure you
panel
tune
have
in
for
on
the boxing.
Saturday. Same panel, big fight this Saturday on DR Sports. Saturday night, we're on air from about 9 o'clock. Lawrence Okoli from Hackney versus Chris Billam-Smith from Bournemouth. It's going to be a good night. Lewis Hall's impressed me, he's had a good game.
Do you
There's
do
a
that?
typical commentator's curse, as I said
Not
that.
Of
perfect.
course, and there he is. Now he's going to get caught on the
Yeah.
counter-attack. And United
United,
can't
if they've
break
not
him.
overly committed, they've got, 3 men forward?
They've
4
tried
now?
to pass.
I'm
the
sorry,
ball and
that was Sancho blowing up there, was it? I was like, yo, he looks quick.
Oh,
there.
he's in!
Oh,
it's,
just ahead of him
yeah,
there.
yeah.
taken out wide.
Too much on it.
It's been a better game than I thought. Let's
Yeah,
put it that
yeah.
way. Just
I
in
definitely
terms
thought it
of-
was going to be a mid-off, yeah.
Yeah, like I.
You thought it was going to be a futsal game, didn't you? On the beach.
I used to play futsal back at uni. Great sport.
That's one thing I do. Oh,
Nice,
good ball.
well done. Was that Wes?
One thing I would say, you cannot doubt the integrity of the Premier League because teams who seemingly have nothing to play for turn up, like Chelsea have tonight, and they are trying a ting, as we say.
See, this is a pointless move now because I don't understand why Christian Pulisic is coming on the pitch. Because
So
he's
he
not
can
gonna-
get a game, put him in the shop window. Somebody out
Double
there might want to buy
substitution
him.
for Chelsea. Havertz coming off.
And let's
Pulisic
face
coming
it,
on.
not
Havertz very
happy.
frustrated
Havertz
as well.
has been one of the worst players on the pitch.
Oh,
I'm going to say that now.
I mean, Mudrik's not set the world alight, but I'd rather
He's
see
been
him
better than
get-
Havertz.
I'd rather see him get minutes than Joao Felix, who I hope is not at the club next season. So, Joao Felix. I mean,
Oh, you know what, Felix? No?
I don't.
Doesn't
no,
feel like
not-
he's convinced him enough. You were saying
He's not
earlier,
done
wasn't
enough. He's not done anywhere near enough for me. I mean, there were a few games where he came in bright at the start, but he's one of them players where his level's diminished with the team. Whereas I look at players like Badiashile, like Enzo, they've not let their own levels go down because the team's been poor. And for me, that's a sign that probably not what we need. I'd be
Mind you,
keen,
he's on loan anyway. So.
I'd be keen to know what Poch thinks of Joao Felix, given that Christopher Nkunku is obviously coming in the summer, if Fabrizio is to be believed, which here we
United
go.
just coming up here.
Oh,
It's not bad. Oh, that's all right. I talk him
It's a
down,
bad
but
kick
that was
by
all right
Kepa
from Pulisic, you know.
don't you think that was poor from Kepa then?
It wasn't the best ball out.
He's
but
just lofted it up and invited pressure.
I mean, I
United
think
now won the ball back.
Poor
The
touches
issue-
from Martial and Wan-Bissaka
I'm not
there.
convinced by him at all. but-
No, the issue we've had with Kepa though for so long is I think we've known he's not good enough to be number one, but we've just been unable to shift
look.
him. He's on such big wages. It's not,
No one will take him, and
and even on a
You
loan,
can't
we'd
offload
be
him.
paying his whole wages. If we send him out on loan, it'd be us.
oh
paying
my
his wages.
god, who is that? Was that Enzo?
Enzo, yeah.
My god, man, turn the jets on, bro. Guy was moving like a slug.
Yeah, he's not the
Hey,
fastest.
yo, who you running with? Ankle weights out there.
I know. You should have seen him foot race against Adeyemi against Dortmund. Adeyemi's a
I mean,
fastest.
Adeyemi's not a... But, I mean, that's
Fastest in history.
32-year-old Casemiro, man. You should be blowing
Nonny.
him out.
Come on,
You should be
Nonny.
telling him, hey, out with the old, in with the new. Instead, you're letting the old man catch you up and hawk you down
SP,
like that.
Look at this as P, man. It'll be emotional saying goodbye to him, you know, Champions League
gonna
winning
shed a tear?
captain, but I feel hard because as captain, I don't think anyone fully thought he was like a, captain, leader, legend. But he's won the European Cup as our captain. He's always been the man when we've had a high-tempered game to come out and do the media interviews. And he is somebody who served the club well. We signed him for about 8 million quid from Marseille, and it's been 11 years of
11 years,
service
wow.
from him. So I probably ought to be crying, and maybe when it comes, that'll happen. But sadly, I won't actually be at the Bridge for the final game of the season. But yeah, goodbye and thank you.
How many games have you been to this season? Then?
I'm a season ticket holder, mate.
Okay.
So I've done almost all our home games. I mean, exam permitting, but I've...
So what's the mood of the fans? How have
uneasy would be the word I'd say. I mean, I think...
Apathetic?
Once everything you're playing for...
To be fair, they've not really got on the team's case, have they? To be fair to them.
Under Potter, it got a little bit...
Yeah, you
very
felt like
nice.
at points there it was getting a little bit edgy.
It'd be interesting to ask those people now, was it worth it, sacking him?
I think it was.
To
me,
I wouldn't say it's
Potter-
got any better.
Yeah, it's
not
definitely
got any
not. It's
better,
definitely
has
not
it?
got much
Like,
better. But what I would say about
Come on, Connor.
Potter...
Come on, Connor. Oh, no, that's not.
No,
What I would
that's
say
not
about
foul.
Potter
That's
is
not
this,
pen.
it's
Get
like-
back up.
I'd have to be fair. And that's
It's
not.
getting choppy now.
With Potter, I think... Who was it who used the phrase big fish in a small pond and vice versa?
Bigger fish
showed-
to fry, that was your brother.
showed-
I remember that. Yeah, bigger fish to fry, that was your brother. I remember that. I remember that one.
That
Where
was
is it?
great,
I remember they had like a fish around here as well. It was just stinking up the studio for like 6 weeks.
Really?
It was
in that
yeah,
fridge out
this is
there.
this is what we're gonna fry this season. When we win the Premier League, the big fish we're gonna fry. I was like, fair enough.
Yeah, so...
Was that not the one you were
won't
talking
talk
about?
about that.
No?
Let's talk
Was that not the bigger fish, no? Okay.
Let's talk about Graham Potter, who, let's be honest, he was like a rabbit caught in headlights for most of that job.
He just never. He didn't have.
He
the
just didn't have the
persona.
personality to...
But-
jobs like the Chelsea job, Tottenham, Arsenal...
But actually,
Easy now, yeah?
no, I'm saying Tottenham
Burnley.
are at that, you know, the level of scrutiny...
Leicester.
see, I think
No, the level of scrutiny at a club like Chelsea,
the way I think
Arsenal,
about it
Tottenham...
was-
He's not ready for that yet.
Yeah, he
For me-
showed that he's not up for that.
for me, the reason he got replaced was because the fans were uneasy with him. I think he would have got to the end of the season otherwise. But when I think about it, I think, was there really any point in just not making a change at the end of the season? Was there really any point? I mean, the two-leg tie v Madrid, we just threw in the towel, really. You know, 3-6-1, we played Kante as attacking mid. Was it really worth sacking him? I mean, given the
It
atmosphere,
seemed like you were going anywhere fast when they put
well,
it
given
up.
the atmosphere at the Bridge and the fact that it was getting toxic, for me, that was probably what, like, the kind of straw that broke the camel's back.
And apparently he'd lost the dressing room. What's your
No, he
thoughts on
didn't.
that?
I don't think he did.
I read that.
I think
I read
there were too
That
many
the players were making jokes behind his back
Oh,
and
but
stuff
come
like
on,
that.
like, you know, if you had a colleague called Potter, what would you be calling him? You know,
Isn't
you'd be
it?
going
That's just part and
towards,
parcel
you
of the
know, like
workplace. Bit of
I
bants.
From all that's been said, they
You
respect
say
him.
that, but I can think of a few managers where that wouldn't slide, man.
From all I said, though, they
Pep, for
respected
example,
him.
that wouldn't happen.
Oh, I don't know. I think Pep's a bit of a cool guy.
You reckon he doesn't let you just come and rub his head every once in a while pre-training?
Probably not.
Pep's a very odd man manager, though. Like, some player... He doesn't like big personalities. Like, look at Ibrahimovic,
Pep?
Yaya.
Yeah.
As a
Team's
coach.
littered with him.
No, but look
No,
at
he
look
likes
at
choir
Yaya,
boys. He likes choir boys
Ibrahimovic.
who will fall in line and listen to his...
No, every manager likes players
He
to
never
fall in line.
confronted. He never confronted Ibrahimovic, and that was what Ibra got so
Yeah, but
annoyed about.
Ibra is a law unto himself.
But he
There's
was a
very
team
few
player,
Ibras
you know.
around.
He was a team.
How about
player.
Joe Hart? You look at that, Yaya
Good, he
Toure.
never had the goods.
Yaya Toure.
No, but with Joe Hart, I think if I
Leroy
remember
Sané.
right, if I remember
Joe
right,
Hart was on the
he made it clear from even before he took over the reins.
second year of a 5-year contract. A guy who's been literally Golden Glove, a record 4 times, has literally won 2 of the titles recently. You're not even going to give him a chance.
No, but that, if you remember,
But that's what I'm saying by, like-
he gave you the reason
and
why. He
Joe
said
Hart,
that
I feel like
he wanted
that-
a ball-playing goalkeeper.
Leroy
Which
Sané.
But you're not even going to
as
give
well.
him the chance. Like, at least Ten Hag this season, I can say the credit of he's given David De Gea enough rope to kind of hang himself, but
Does De
you're not
Gea
even
stay
doing
next
that.
season?
Nah. I reckon they might even give that young... Oh my God, that was a nasty nutmeg and a penalty there for Fofana.
No,
That
given
is
it, he's given it.
That is given.
Very.
Oh my God, Fofana, pull
was
your
very nice
shorts
for
up,
offending
lad.
that, yeah.
That was embarrassing.
Who's going to take
That
it?
was nasty.
it'll be Bruno, won't
No,
it?
he won the penalty a lot of times when playing.
Nah. Look at this. Look at that left foot, nutmeg. See you later. Penalty.
Did he touch him?
Oh,
Oh.
I don't think he touched
Did he
it.
Hey,
touch him?
hey, we take
Did he
that all
touch
day.
him?
We take that all day. Let's have a look.
Fofana
Shum.
actually took his foot away there.
No, he lunged and dived. Oh,
not a pen, no.
Is there any contact? Yeah, there is.
There is.
There is.
It's
All you need is
soft.
the little.
It's
and that's
soft.
It. You're set.
But for me, that it probably is a pen, given there were contact.
To me,
he dived.
not really complaining. Is
He dived, like he absolutely dived. But the fact there was contact, that's a pen.
Fofana showed his naivety.
Yep.
There. I mean,
That
the
was
guy's
very
getting
bad.
away from you.
Fofana's had a bad run of games, and I think he needs the end of this season as much as any of them, because what was sad was that when Potter built a settled team for about 3 or 4 games, when we beat Dortmund, beat Leeds, Fofana was looking really, really good. And maybe, for me, I look in the Premier League and I look at it in football, I guess in sport, you need a settled team.
I reckon he'll miss this.
I don't know.
Would you reckon left, right, centre? Where we
Kepa's
going? I'm going bottom left.
Goalkeeper Kepa will save you.
Bottom left.
Is the one thing Kepa
Look,
can do.
Kepa's gonna dive the right way as well. And
Oh, easy.
I told you.
And
he
he's
was
given Kepa the eye as well.
People are going, that's not bottom left. Bottom left of the keeper. Hello. Come on.
Good pen.
Good penalty,
We
actually.
can hear the United boys downstairs.
Yeah, 3-0. This is pretty much game, set, and match now.
Just don't know.
I mean, what more could you want if you were Man United?
Game over once,
Champions League
United
secured.
won first.
That second goal was probably ruined the game from like a neutral perspective.
Oh, Bruno saying something to Kepa there.
Yeah, because Kepa was trying to give him the eyes and-
He's like, you can do all your dancey, jinky me jink. You can hold this one.
Oh, look.
Bow.
I'm no
What's
fan
up?
of Bruno, but
Enzo.
Enzo
Let's
and-
go, Enzo.
Enzo versus
I like
Sancho.
this.
Can I have your jersey, Garnacho? I don't know what I think of those signs. You hear Ajax banned those
Enzo
signs.
don't understand a word anybody's saying as well. They're all trying to talk to him in English. He's like, no hablo inglés, man.
What's going on here? Yeah, did you see the Chelsea released a clip of Enzo trying to speak English, and it was like him
Me
and Joao
gusta, me
Felix,
gusta.
like-
I think it's, you know what it is? Enzo's taken exception to what Fernandes did to Kepa.
Yeah, rightly
Has he
so,
watched-
man.
has he
I
watched
love this.
Bruno? Has he watched Bruno in the Prem? Like he does it week
Yeah,
in, week
when
out.
it comes to shithousery, this guy is up there with the very worst of them.
Listen, if you don't have characters like that in your team, you are never going to win. Look, that's what he's doing. And then while he's celebrating, basically, he came to stand up for
You
his
say
teammate.
that, right? But perhaps the best club side in the world, do they have that? Do they resort to that?
Every
City.
single team that I can recall
Name
that has won.
me City's shithousery players.
What, Rodri? If you are not watching,
Actually,
City
yeah,
very
Rodri,
well.
yeah.
Rodri is the king. Rodri has taken over what Fernandinho used to do. Fernandinho was a master of.
No, but Fernandinho was a
Fernandinho used to look like.
He was just
Tactical
bit nasty with the
fouling.
tackles.
Excuse me?
No, he was-
Fernandinho was a master shithouser, and that's what he used to do. He used to look like the ultimate professional. Be like, yes, I respect the ref, but watch the elbows, watch the pulls, and that's what made them great. Rodri, same thing. Yeah, I look at even the great Barcelona.
No,
team.
I hear what
Puyol
you're saying.
was
I hear
their
what you're
dog.
saying.
Every
no,
team.
No, you're talking about
has
like
to
a
have.
hard man. I'm talking about shithousery. That's slightly different.
It's all fruits of the same tree, in my opinion. Dark arts, shithousery. You can brand it however you like. Hard man. Like
But
nowadays,
Bruno's
let's
not
be
a
honest.
hard man, though.
We're not. Yeah, I know Bruno's not a hard
He's
man.
just a shithouse.
You see, being a hard man is not about being strong. It's about a mentality. I'm telling you now, bruv. Are you willing to run through a brick wall?
Oh, this has gone Garnacho. Let's see what he can do here.
He's rapid, that you.
Here we go. Aspi on skates. Oh.
But Bruno is
Chelsea
proper-
just given up now.
Bruno's
by the way.
like Bruno. I can think of two that come
There
to
you
mind.
go. Andrew Green is even. I said Puyol in that Barcelona team. He says Busquets as well. Busquets is another
Busquets, I
one
was
people
gonna
forget.
say-
Dani
Oh!
Alves.
No.
Oh, the hair just
No, but
coming
I
out
think we're
to
getting
claim
it
that.
slightly twisted. There. You guys talking about hard men?
No.
There's hard men,
that
and then there's
also
shithouses.
shithouse.
They're two
So, for
animals of
example,
the same
the-
tree.
the-
Is there a book there?
Two
Emi
branches of-
Martinez is a shithouse player.
Yeah, and a hard man.
He's like Bruno.
Yeah,
But I wouldn't say that Emi Martinez is a hard man.
Richarlison, shithouse.
Yeah,
but he's
he's
not a
not
hard
hard
man.
man.
I get
Do
it.
you regret that?
But they're all students of dark arts, is how I call it.
Yeah, but it's slightly different. It's a nuance.
Semantics.
It's a nuance there.
Semantics.
No, not
David
really.
David Luiz.
Because
did it a
I know
little
what you're
bit
saying,
as
but
well.
for me, there's no more hard men left in football. Hard men is like a yesteryear thing. Like that's the Roy
Vinnie
Keanes, the
Jones.
Vinnie Joneses. Like
Patrick
this
Vieira.
football, modern day football, doesn't allow that. You do any hard man challenge, you're sent off.
Yeah.
This is a
VAR as
football
well.
for wimps is essentially what we watch these days. Let's be honest.
So that's given birth to the shithouses then.
100%. So these are the modern day hard men, if you like. And in my opinion, I love it.
But I would never call Bruno a hard man.
I wouldn't
this
call him a
guy
hard
goes
man
down
either.
at the flick of a
But
thing.
if you're saying like shithousery, dark arts, it's all the same thing in my opinion. And Bruno, he loves that, man.
Oh, yeah.
And I always say you have to have a player of that mold, whether it's the hard man, whether it's shithousery, whether it's someone who's the dark arts. They don't.
So I would
more
more say Rodri is more the hard man rather than the shitter.
No, I see.
No,
I would
I
say
disagree
that. I
with
would
that.
say Roger is not a hard man.
Come on.
But dark arts and shithousery 101. Roger's a nasty guy. Watch him closely, man.
Yeah, yeah.
I love it about him as well. But
Who's yours at Tottenham?
Spurs have lacked
Højbjerg.
that.
Huh?
Højbjerg.
Yeah, Højbjerg is, yeah.
And the thing is we're just talking about like our clubs or whatever. But I'm saying even most winning teams.
Ours
every
would
team
be
who
Granit
wins-
Xhaka.
Yours would be Granit Xhaka, yeah. Like that guy who you know, if there's a fight, no matter what, that he's going to be there front and
But
center.
that's what I'm saying, though. Bruno's not like that. He's not a fighter.
Bruno
he just
will-
winds
why do you-
people
No,
up.
but that's the thing. But Bruno will mouth his way there.
Yeah, yeah.
Bruno will be there.
He's
mouth
that
it.
guy that you go to a pub with. He'll
he's
start
the
the
wine
fight.
guy.
Yeah, and then
he'll-
Varane and them guys
Yeah,
will have to
will
come and be
in
like,
and
"Oi."
that's right, yeah.
But you see someone who I'm talking about, Lisandro Martinez, for example.
Yeah.
That's shithouse.
Oh!
Plus,
He's in.
he slopped in,
Oh!
and it's
4-0.
4-0. Chelsea mistake
What
at
are
the
they
back.
doing there?
Rashford capitalising.
Is that Kepa again?
Ay.
Was that Kepa?
Mate, it's
Ay,
a comedy.
Dios míos.
It's a
Oh,
comedy.
it's Fofana.
Fofana's had enough.
That is a penalty
He's
given
having a
away.
nightmare.
Ay, man.
But that's
I'm a big fan of Fofana as well.
Was there a bit of Kepa in that as well, though?
Yeah, probably. But it's been a comedy of errors.
That's
no, it's
Fofana.
not even look.
Oh, no, it's not Kepa, to be fair to him. Fofana.
Yeah, it just misses his tackle there. Rashford, too easy for him there. I'm sorry. Even with the mistakes.
Oh yeah, no.
So it's a double whammy,
He
isn't it?
literally just got moonwalked out of the way for
No, but
Fofana
you
there.
know what? That's a double whammy, because he was the one who gave the bad pass in the first place.
It's just. But the thing is, man, it's just been a comedy of defensive errors.
And then it's
tonight.
gone through Kepa's legs, although to be fair to him, there's, it was point blank range.
Oh, this Fofana disaster class, man.
Fofana, man, he just had his career ended tonight.
Everyone has. I mean, I remember Thiago Silva, first game for Chelsea. He had an absolute stinker, and he's come good. All the best players have games like this, runs like this.
This is what I'm saying earlier
In a
when
settled
we was
team.
talking about Lampard. I mean, can you blame Lampard for what Fofana did there?
Well, do you know what the funniest thing is, right? Frank Lampard's first tenure at the club. We had a good season, but it started with a 4-0 defeat away at Old Trafford, and what's probably his penultimate game as Chelsea.
Oh. Madueke's been doing that all game, man.
He's been doing it all game.
He's been our
but
best player by a long way, I think.
Nothing's come of it, though.
Second being Lewis.
Oh, he's missed it. Conor Gallagher at the far post.
But it's funny because it's going to be his penultimate game in charge of Chelsea, and we similarly lose 4-0 away at Old Trafford, and both times Chelsea teams filled with youngsters, but very different circumstances. And the end of
he took the goalkeeper out there, though. That's the
that's a
thing.
foul.
Oh, a bit of afters there again. Lindelof and
See,
Pulisic.
I like a bit of passion when it comes to football. I don't like it sanitised.
Listen. I'm defending Pulisic on that, and he's got a right to go for the ball, bro. He's got 6'5" keeper. Get it out the air. What?
Why not?
Yeah.
Why not? Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Oh,
It was De Gea.
little bit of argy-bargies.
Lindelof is also a little bit of a he's a little bit of a menace when it comes to like scuffles and things like that.
To be fair though, did he leave the arm there though? Looking at it again, I can see why De Gea's a little bit rattled, because he appeared to leave his left arm in the face of De Gea.
You're saying almost like a forearm smash.
Yes, bit of MMA going on there.
Bit of technical training for me now. Oh, that's
Substitutes, a bit late now, but here we go.
But for me, like, instead of bringing on Ziyech right now, what I would be doing
He's
is
had a
saying
poor
to
game, he has, Conor Gallagher.
Fofana is clearly having a dreadful game.
Oh, he's...
Just take him off for that young kid, Alfie Gilchrist. Just give him 10 minutes. It can't get any worse than
Gilchrist.
Fofana, man. I'm sorry. Like, Just hook him.
And the thing about Fofana is he came to Chelsea off the back of a good reputation he built up at Leicester, and before that he was at Marseille with none other than William Saliba.
No, Saint Etienne.
Sorry, Saint Etienne, and he was seen as the senior partner in that. In that.
But you know, why is he bringing on Hakim Ziyech? We're not going to be seeing him next season. Just give the kids some minutes, like that would be my own.
Might as well give him a chance, because I mean, you're not gonna.
Yeah, but what's Ziyech gonna do in his 10 minutes?
Yeah, but
right?
what has anyone done really?
Yeah, but give the kid a memory to not forget. Alfie Gilchrist.
What, a 4-0 defeat? A 4-0 defeat against
come
Man
hold
United.
this 4-0 lad on your debut.
Old
It might scar him for life.
Well, I'm sorry, I would love to.
Oh look,
play
it could be
for the
5.
team.
Garnacho's in, and we know how pacey he is. He's running at the defence.
He's looked excellent since.
Oh, look at that. Good
I
little
must
bit of
say.
skill. Oh!
Yeah, good
I was
stuff.
going to say United turning on the party tricks, but it didn't quite work out.
Garnacho, I must say, he's
rapid,
looked.
though.
Our defence was shaky before he came on, but he's just completely sliced through them like, on more than
Listen,
one
if you're a
occasion,
defender and you've had a hard time and it's getting into the latter stages of the game,
Well,
and
let's see what's. Come on,
you look up and
Datro.
see
I'd
Garnacho's
love a
coming up.
Datro goal here. Come on, David.
Shoot. So he didn't
He's a bit
shoot.
green. He's a bit. He's not. You know.
You see what he did wrong there? The minute you get that ball down and it opens up
Shoot.
for you, shoot. When you try and cut back on at this level, they're going to close you down and take the ball off.
But I think it's one of them where when he's kind of come through, he's always been the most physical player on the pitch, and when he gets to the Premier League, it's not quite so easy. You can't just kind of bully defenders.
Listen, in the Premier League, we all know you get that split-second opportunity. If you overdwell on the ball, you got to be bloody good.
Right,
because the
Joao, let's
defenders-
see what Felix does here.
Absolutely nothing. Hey, say it again.
But it's things like that. What is that end product? I just, you know, it's not. And it's funny that Atletico have looked a lot better in attack without him too. That's been kind of.
Another one who come with a big reputation and has not lived up to it.
Well, there are still some Prem clubs, some fans that want him.
Well, we wanted him.
There are still some Chelsea fans that are mesmerised
Oh,
by
here they go again.
Oh!
How did he miss
How did that not go in?
second woodwork hit of the half.
How did that not go in?
Aye, aye, aye.
He deserves a goal, that
Yeah, he's
Garnacho too, I must say.
that's
See
poor.
what David Fofana can do here. Okay.
Not much. Seems like going back. Start again.
Yeah, but look, if he can net himself a goal, you know, it's something to take home. So let's see if. I'm
Last
trying
6
it.
minutes of the game now. Pretty much game set and match this one.
Nah, mate.
Oh, floated in behind.
See, the thing is, in the first
little
half,
bit,
Chelsea were arguably
Yeah,
the
okay.
better team, even though they went 2-0 down.
Been
But
a
in this
disaster
half,
since.
yeah, you've
But I
not,
said it
you've not showed
early.
up.
I said it 55th minute. I was saying we'd not come out the same. We haven't got the same juices. And United have completely outclassed us.
And you know what this
second half,
game
you know.
shows as well, Fuad, is that when you are in the ascendancy as a football team,
You
it's
need
very
your goals.
important that you score a goal, because if you
Capitalise.
don't, because that's what United did. They, in the first half, you outplayed them basically, but they took their
Or we
chances.
at least matched them. You know,
Yeah.
if not outplayed them, and it's
Yeah,
just
okay.
a poor.
But you didn't take your chances, they did. So you're behind the 8 ball. And in the second half, United have been able to up their levels where you guys haven't. And in this half, they've smoked you, really. Could have been 6-0.
My expectations were
If
we
not,
go
yeah.
on the floor, but I was hoping for that kind of end of season, both teams on the beach, and we've seen a game of football.
Oh, you're on the beach,
and
all right. Yeah.
We've seen a game of football. I don't know.
I'll
think
tell
in
you
the
what
first
beach
half-
you're on as well, the nudist beach. You've had your pants pulled down, mate.
Well, we have this. not sure what I'd be.
You've had your pants well and truly pulled down, especially in the second half.
Second half, absolutely. I mean, I think that goal just before half time just knocked the stuffing out of them, really, because they just didn't show that ambition in the second half. I think they thought, look, 2-0 down, we're not getting anything from this. And also credit to Ten Hag, he's made the right subs, you know, Garnacho,
Is it refund time for the fans that made the way up there?
Malacia's been good. Sorry, no.
Is it refund time for the fans?
We're not Tim Pot. We don't do that. You support the
Fuad
club.
knows all about that. doesn't he?
Cheer us on
Refunds.
through the sun and rain, because Chelsea's on
You know about
Said-
that, innit?
What's that?
Refunds for fans. Away fans.
Refunds for away fans. Well, we've had a couple of them this year. You know what I mean? So,
few concessions.
It's part and parcel of the game.
You know,
for
I'd
Spurs
rather
fan.
that we didn't sack the interim and provide refunds, but you know, as they say, cheer us.
That was a bit of an
on
empty
our-
gesture at Spurs. I'll tell you why. Because they didn't want to do it. It's because the fans were like
But it's also like 30
bringing
quid
up
for
the
an
phone.
away-
And then even then, didn't they try and claw it back by doing some little points thing, innit?
No, I don't know.
Yeah, they did. They
You got to
tried
remember
some
all the
little move.
expense that goes into an away
Yeah,
trip as well.
that's
It's like
it.
you're giving them £30 back when it probably costs them how much in petrol, how much in food.
No, but there was some
Yeah.
caveat attached to it at first, wasn't it? I forget what it was. People in the comments let us know what it was. Oh, this is...
You get like club points back.
Yeah,
or some
yeah.
shit like that,
Yeah, you didn't get your.
And then there was a
loyalty
bit of an
going,
outrage about that, and then they went the whole hog and said, "Oh, you know what? We give back the £30."
Weird.
And then even then, how many fans actually took them up on that? Probably not that many.
No, it got automatically debited
Oh, is it?
into their
Okay.
account. But I think it was like the way Chelsea do it, that if you go to Manchester on a Tuesday, or maybe not Manchester because it's Big Six, but you get points towards getting a season ticket if you go on a Thursday night to up north or whatever. And if those fans were getting those points taken away because they got a refund on their ticket, well, that's not really rewarding dedication.
No, it's
Yeah.
not. No.
So I don't know what the system is at Spurs, but if it's anything like Chelsea's, I can understand why people get pretty annoyed at that, really.
Good, look at this, Chelsea,
Mate, one more game to the end of the
12th
season.
in the Premier. Who would have
You
foreseen
One more
love
that?
to
game,
see it,
Laurie.
man. You
One more
love to
game.
see it.
You could even finish. I mean, if Wolves beat us, which is highly unlikely.
Lopetegui's
And
on his
you
way
lose.
out, isn't he? By the looks of it.
Yeah.
From what? For me, mate, one more
So
game.
almost certainly
We're
you're
12th
gonna
for
finish
one more
12th.
game. We're 12th for one more game, then the whole league gets reset to 0, baby. We're letter C. We're letter C. We're back in the top 4. All right. So
No
I'm
chance.
not having any of that. Nah, mate, alphabetical order. I don't know if we're 5th or
No,
4th.
I don't see it,
We're
man.
back in the top half.
You'll do better than 12th, obviously, next season, but you're not getting in the top 4.
People said that about United this year, though.
No, but this is a mess that is going to take
One-
a little
one
while to
more-
sort
one
out.
more game
More
this
chance
season.
for Chelsea.
Pass
to get
it!
Something.
Oh!
Does. Great run from João Felix.
He's-
4-1.
But that's the first time I've seen
Consolation.
real end product from him, though.
That was a good goal, actually.
But it is, but he's done that once. And you know, great goal. You know, well done, Joao, mate, but
Where's
where
that
was
been all
this
season?
Where
Yeah.
was this all season? And to be fair, also the defending, the United players
I
on the
mean, let's
beach,
be honest. He had
4 on
oceans
3.
of space to run into. Really and truly, he had one man to beat and then just took a shot.
And if he hadn't
Great goal,
scored,
but
if he hadn't
very easy.
scored, everyone would have been saying really bad play. You got so many men there, but yeah, good goal. You know,
Got 3 options there and he ignored them all.
I'll be honest though, I'd have rather it one of our youngsters, but you know,
Well, you are paying a bit of money for him. So
oh mate, we paid about 20 million quid for half a season, wasn't it, or 10 million quid? So,
Well, it was a good goal.
nice to get a goal, I suppose.
But here we go again. Look, United on the attack.
5-1.
Oh, it
He's
is!
got Nacho back post.
Oh.
What a save from Kepa.
Great save.
My God. United should maybe have 6 or 7 here in the second half.
I think the wheels have come off.
Pendulum's completely
Again,
swung the
how
other
can
way.
you can see you scored a great
I mean, look
goal.
at Aspie. He is literally busting a gut. He held his shirt. Hey, that's too funny. That is the moment when Aspie retired this season, bro, and use that clip as a moment to remind yourself. You remember Rio? He got burnt by, was it Agbon Lahore? And he said that was the moment. Gary Neville, I remember he said he got cooked in that West Brom game, and he said that was the moment. Aspie, that was the moment there. He got cooked. Got Nacho, fresh 18-year-old as well. You know, that's like the
Football's
pass of the mantle.
generational change.
Ooh.
It's like Ivanovic before him. Just
Garnacho
lost
got
his
to bury
legs.
that
That's
though,
what
man.
they say. It's a young man's game, isn't it?
When you lose your legs like that, you just got to quit. When you quit when you're ahead, quit before your legs go.
Here goes he.
Oh.
Well done, David.
recovery from David
Datro.
Fofana.
We love it. Ooh. All right.
Oh,
That's
great
all
ball as
right.
well.
Ball.
Felix has looked all right.
Spreading
since
it.
coming on. Why didn't Ziyech go for that? I don't know. Is it a foul, maybe?
He's another one who never smiles, isn't it? Ziyech. Have you ever seen Ziyech smile?
No.
I don't think I've ever seen that.
Big
guy
up everyone
smile.
who's been in the stream with us. Make sure you're throwing a like.
I think
if you're
he's
enjoying
misunderstood
it.
Ziyech, though. And I think you needed somebody to come in who understood him. And we never really had a coach that believed in him and understood him the way that a Ten Hag did at Ajax. the Wizard of Amsterdam, and he'll do well somewhere.
He's a good player, but
I don't think he's got a bad attitude, by the way. I think it's very easy, a very lazy thing to say about somebody like him.
No, I didn't say he's got a bad attitude. I just said I've never seen smart. This could be
Laurie,
5.
You didn't say it.
Oh.
No, I wasn't saying that you said it, Laurie. You
yeah.
didn't say it.
Yeah.
It's just what I see a lot about him. And I don't necessarily think it...
He gives that appearance like he'd rather be anywhere else on the football field.
Sometimes it's just not the right fit. Bit like Potter, you know, and every club's had them. And I think he's just one of them, you know.
Because if you remember, notoriously, he fell out with the Moroccan coach, didn't he? And he retired from international football.
Came back at the World Cup.
And then he came back, and he had a really good World Cup, actually. Oh, Ganasha again!
He was brilliant. So, you know, we wish him well, but I think...
Yeah, I think that should
Who's
say.
your goal for as your man of the match today?
Me?
Fofana.
I think United have had a lot of good players. I would... To pick one, I'd probably go for... It pains me to say it, but...
I know what you're going to say.
Bruno's probably done a lot.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
Yeah. You thinking Bruno as well?
Probably, yeah. He's a captain as well.
Casemiro's look really nice.
I was going to say I would probably maybe lean towards him. I feel like they were just showing his touch map. They're pretty much all over the place, basically, breaking things up.
No, he's had a good game. But
started the goal with the 1-0 as well, kind of got the ball rolling. So
let's give it to Casemiro.
I'll give it to
Bruno.
Casemiro.
Oh, look, they're through again.
One more. Is there a final chance? Oh my God.
Scott
McTominay there, missing a sitter. He almost didn't expect it, I think, to come to him. It just came to him in 1 second too late. Ooh, it's one of those dribblers.
He banged in the goals for Scotland, though, Scott McTominay.
Yeah, he was going through a purple patch, wasn't he? Debbie Lee Dupree says, is it too soon to sack Lampard?
One more game, my man. One more game, 90 more minutes of his team's selection.
Who have you got?
Got to ride it out.
Newcastle at home, mate.
Bloody hell.
They're going to punch you up as well.
I'm at the League 2.
Yeah, top 4. That's ours now.
I'm at the League 2 playoff final. I've got a mate from Carlisle. I'll be in the Carlisle end.
You're going to the Carlisle game instead?
League 2 playoff final. Cashed in my season ticket because just for that game.
He said, I'm done.
Because I can get money to put towards.
I'd rather watch League 2 than this shit.
Also, my mate's
a damning indictment of Chelsea. The man would
all,
rather go and watch League 2 than watch yours.
My mate's a massive Carlisle fan, you know.
I'm not sure if you should have admitted that openly. That could get clipped.
I do.
That could get clipped.
Production
team,
and that's about to check himself into the psych ward. And listen, we'll be keeping an eye on a lot of Chelsea fans over the summer. But that is the game done. 4-1 to Manchester United today. And comfortable, easy as you like.
In the end.
I think you said 3-1, wasn't it?
I did. I said
4-1. I'm glad we got a goal, mate. But yeah, first half gave me a bit to cling on to. Second half, just dreadful, really. I mean, really, really appalling defending and back to offering next to nothing in attack. And
Wesley Fofana in that second half has had as bad a game as... I mean, he made Harry Maguire look like prime-time Maldini.
It happens to every player. I don't think you can read into it. It happens.
United obviously now jump up to third. Officially, Champions League football is secured. Liverpool fans, secured for next year.
I love that, though.
And I'm sure United fans will be very happy with that. What's that?
The Man United fans really like that. Top 4 secured on the bottom left of their screen.
Well, they haven't got a choice. It's up to Sky, isn't it?
I know.
But you know what? You say that, but what? They're top 4 now. They've won.
They've had a great season.
And they might win. They might.
Both domestic cups.
Yeah. So if they do that will be a very good season.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I fully accept that. And I think Ten Hag.
Arguably better than ours, some people
Ten Hag
say.
with his boy Hakim Ziyech there too.
Yeah.
Garnacho there feeling like maybe he should have chipped in with a 5th one there at the end. Yeah. But I think United fans will be very happy overall with the season. I think Ten Hag's first year, a couple of big players have come in. I think you've seen some moments where there have been patterns of play and kind of, but then there have been also moments where you see like there's a lot of work still to be done here, if that makes sense. 2 cup finals, top 4 secured. I think you asked any United fan at the start of the season what would they have asked you, they would have said, if we can outside challenge, but then we end up in a top 4 position and leave with the cup, they would have said, we'll
let's
take
face it, the bare minimum for a club like United is Champions League football.
They've had a good season.
They've done that, and like you said, they've already won 1 cup. If they can beat City, which is unlikely but not impossible, then you'd have to say that's a very good season, especially if you beat your closest rivals in that cup final game. So,
yeah,
they've done it before this season, and
they do have a chance.
Absolutely. And I mean, I think with United, you can just see the process, you can see the aura, you can see that they're a club again, because it's not dissimilar to how we are now, what they were last season at this point. So I'm not saying we're going to have anything like the season they've had next year, but it gives me
I think you're going to
hope
struggle next season.
But if Poch can come in and make his mark, let's see. He can rebuild the club, and he's coming at the best time, because when you can't get any lower, sometimes that's the best time to walk in somewhere, because you come somewhere, your stocks are down.
Although I would say that I think looks like Bruno might have got man of the match.
Yeah. The only way's up from here for Chelsea. That's the thing that encourages me. It can't get much worse than this.
It maybe not get much worse, but from what I'm looking at there, man, it's got an almighty sorting out. A bit like Tottenham.
End of the season, chaos, it happens.
It's been chaos for pretty much the whole year,
It has.
like at Chelsea, but we will see what life brings for Chelsea fans. Final game of the season this Sunday, I believe, 4:30 p.m. All the games will be kicking off. United have officially secured top 4, which means now there's nothing really left to compete for, is there, on the final day, except for the relegation spots, where you've got Everton, Leeds still fighting for their lives. Leicester as well.
That's an intriguing end of season.
It's been a while since we've had like a
Who do you reckon goes?
deadline day. I don't know.
We know Southampton, obviously.
Every week it changes. I feel like Leeds. I'm looking
at Everton, it's kind of in their hands, isn't it?
Yeah, Everton, I think just enough. Let me just get the table up, actually.
I think Everton will probably stay up, because
Everton, Bournemouth at home, Bournemouth on the beach. You'd hope, if you're an Everton fan. Leeds have got Spurs at home. Well,
yeah, I'm looking at Leeds.
Leicester have got West Ham at home.
I think Leicester have gone.
But it's funny though, because West Ham preparing for that Conference League final. If I were David Moyes, I'd play the kids. So
no, but I think the integrity of the Premier League, there are certain rules that you have to play a certain amount of players.
To an extent, but like all 3 of those teams are playing teams that are on the beach at home.
Yeah.
So it's going to be an intriguing one, because
let's say if they all won, then
all 3 of them could win,
and then what
Everton
would happen?
Stay up.
And then Leicester and Leeds still go down.
Yeah, so I'm going for Leicester and Leeds to.
Yeah, I think it will stay as is, and Everton will just about scrape it up. To be fair, and I'll be honest with you, I don't mind who goes down, because I do think Everton need that reset as well. I think for a long time they've been flirting with relegation. They've been mismanaged. The club's been poorly run, poorly recruited, poor managerial decisions, and at some point it's got to hit you. So if they went down, I wouldn't blame it. Leicester, I think Leicester's a shocking one, but it's almost like, if Leicester did go down, it's a nice reminder nobody's too big to go down. You might have won the Premier League just 7 years ago, but you can still get it.
They won the FA Cup.
You might have won the FA Cup just a few years ago. You can still get it. Anybody can get it.
Wigan did that, didn't they? They won the FA Cup the same season.
And literally
Blackburn went down in, I think, 4 or 5 years after winning.
So that will be the second Premier League champion to have been relegated
Leeds,
as well. This is now obviously 4-1.
Imagine going from Bielsa to Allardyce. How depressing is that? But for me, right, I look at clubs like Everton. They might survive on Sunday, but it'll come eventually. Unless you rebuild and you change, they might not get relegated this year, but you don't survive for long when you're in the state you're in. It happened with Wigan, it happened with Sunderland. Everyone was like, Sunderland find a way to stay up. No. Eventually it comes back.
It will always come back, yeah. Well, listen, make sure you're joining us on that deadline day of the Premier League, I was about to say there, but that final day of the Premier League here, I'm sure we'll be doing a watch along here. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. We'll be covering all those games. Make sure you're subscribed to DR Boxing, On Track GP as well. We got you covered for everything, everywhere, all the time. Make sure you smash a like on your way out in the stream as well.
Fighting. Who was it who said that?
Elton John.
Elton John, indeed.
So make sure you're locked in for that. Make sure you guys like on your way out, Laurie. Tom, appreciate you guys joining me tonight, guys.
Thanks for hosting, man. Done a great
really
job
fun.
as usual.
As always,
Enjoyed it.
You guys know when I'm here, there's goals, and today we saw 5 of them.
Could have seen
Guaranteed.
more,
Listen, we could have seen more, literally, yeah.
From
but
both
listen,
sides.
facts.
No. Let's not go there. You were well and truly.
He's trying to push a narrative. Let me just close out the show, shall we? Listen, make sure you smash the button on your way out, and listen, we appreciate you guys, and we'll be back next week. Take care.